talk a little bit about wall training.
Let's go.
We're going to go 3 different types of lunges.
Just keep that back flat.
Today we're going to take you through a full body workout. So let's go.
IMG Plus online camps take the world-renowned coaching and training methodology that helps create high-performing athletes here on site in Bradenton, Florida, and makes it accessible online, allowing for athletes to the ease and convenience of training without having to travel. While most online training platforms feature only pre-recorded instruction, IMG Academy Plus camps deliver daily live video sessions and interactions with IMG coaches and personalized analysis of your game. So not only do we provide a proven training plan, we evaluate and provide feedback on your progress so you know what to do and how to continue improving. So first you have to select the week that you would choose to partake in the activity. On Monday, you'll have a live video call with your coach that will give you instruction and explanation for the week's curriculum. Next, you'll receive access to your plan for the week. Now, this is going to be specific training that is tied to sports development as well as your APD curriculum. APD will include performance training in areas like movement, mental training, and athletic regeneration. Throughout the week, you're going to record yourself or have someone record your actions. You'll submit those videos to your coach for full analysis, and then they will be returned each day. The process will continue Monday through Friday, and at the end of the week, you'll have a full training experience that touches on all of the different aspects in that sport and all levels of development. So the coaches that are going to be working with our virtual campers are going to be the same coaches that work with our student athletes, with our campers, and with our pros that train here on site year-round. They're going to use some of the same methodology that has helped IMG Academy student athletes become some of the world's top athletes.
You think you know us? You think you know what we're about?
#1 IMG Academy here in Florida.
You think you know what it takes to succeed here? To focus? To grind?
Here we go.
Every single day? You don't even know the half of it.
Let's go.
This here is a brotherhood. We're talking about a got your back now and forever.
Let it out.
Push you harder than you've ever been pushed kind of brotherhood. It's a brotherhood that recognizes the success that came before us and the expectations for us to maintain it. Because the last thing we'd ever do is disappoint our brothers.
24th pick, Cesar Ruiz. 44th pick, Grant Delpit. 46th pick, KJ Hamler.
Scarborough breaks the tackle, surging forward, he's in for the touchdown.
We hear what you're saying. The haters, the doubters, the people who throw shots without any idea of the work we put in and the sacrifices we make. But we'll let you in on a little secret. It doesn't matter. You know why? We hold ourselves to a higher standard than anyone could ever set for us. Work harder, get stronger, be smarter, play faster, dream bigger.
Unreal. IMG dominating.
This one getting a little out of control.
This is a brotherhood. So you think you know us? Well, you're about to find out.
The academic programs at IMG Academy are designed to be complementary to our athletic programs, but our goal is to be admitted and successful at the nation's most select institutions. The competition that's out on the field or on the court turns over into the classroom where students are looking to push themselves. Each year, we generally feature National Merit Scholars, AP Scholars, the Service Academies, the Ivy Leagues, elite academic D3 institutions, and everywhere in between. Ultimately, we want to provide the best fit for each of our student athletes. The academic program has 3 tracks. First and foremost is our college preparatory track. Then we have a full honors track beginning in 8th grade. And then lastly, we have AP courses for our most academically competitive students. Over the last few years, the academic program has grown both in its physical size, as we recently added 30,000 square feet for an increased number of classrooms, a dedicated English as a second language space, 2 hands-on engineering labs, as well as a broadcast TV studio space. We've increased the overall number of faculty to help keep our class sizes down, as well as add depth and breadth to the curriculum by adding new courses each year. At IMG Academy, our goal is to provide the skills and the knowledge to help our student athletes prepare for success at their chosen college or university.
IMG Academy is easily one of the most unique places in the country.
All right, let's go. Let's get to work.
Every college, every university, every major program in the country comes to IMG to recruit these kids.
LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia's, they're going to come knocking on our door because our kids are ready to play right away, ready to compete.
If you can prove yourself at IMG, you can go on to the next level and be successful.
You're here for a reason, and this place is filled with the best.
You know, as an athlete, they want to get better every day. And these kids come here because of the competition and be the best that they can be.
What I want here is a family culture. The Brotherhood is coming closer together. And as a team, if we think as one, we're going to accomplish a lot of our goals.
Welcome to the Bradenton area, where the easy pace of island life comes naturally in this coastal playground with endless white sand beaches, stunning natural preserves, relaxing vibes all around, and it's a seafood lover's paradise. Stay a while to explore downtown Bradenton with top-rated attractions and a friendly community set along the Bradenton Riverwalk. Come lose yourself in the sun-drenched Gulf Coast of Florida and change your reality in the Bradenton area. Learn more at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Do you really think the greatest of all time just came from nowhere? Of course not. Because everyone starts somewhere, and champions start here. Grown rep by rep, conditioned by pro-level coaches who have earned their stripes. Built in elite camps, training day after day. Drilled until second nature becomes first. Start at IMG Academy.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
You ever have that day? You know, that day, that very moment, you got better. your better got better? What if that day was every day?
This is your game. You live it, breathe it, dream it. And so do we. We design it, test it, build it, and repeat. This is what you live for. Zenith. Live your game.
IMG goes on the road Saturday to play number 6 Duncanville. So you got a 1 versus 6.
Yeah, I just love the fact that IMG is going back to Texas. You know, you brought up the last time they went there was 2015.
Going into the week of Duncanville week, we called it, kids talked about some downtime for us just to recover and grow as a team. You know, Victory Monday this week consists of taking them to the beach, where the players could just lounge out and start to enjoy each other. We had players play in the ocean. We had guys study on the beach. So it was a great way just to fool around with our guys, get to know them in a different site, and we did a great job with it.
Had a lot of motivation in us going into Duncanville, and just the practice energy was definitely different from the weeks prior. It was an unneeded motivation that was just in us, and we were ready to play. This is a game that I've been excited for. There is no fear, there is no pressure felt when we put in the work that we do and we prepare the way we prepare. We love when everyone's against us, and it adds another chip on our shoulder. Just keep going and prove that we're the best team in the country.
Y'all got an amazing opportunity, man, for real. Like, coming to IMG, man, like, it really changed my life for real. Just my first, week I got there. DeAndre, Tony Jones. I mean, I met Bo before he left. A lot of guys, man, plenty of guys that I still talk to this day. Like, in the Snapchat group chat with Tony and 3 other guys that I went to school with. It's just like a brotherhood, bro. Like, y'all gonna know y'all teammates through college, through league. Got to Alabama, man, met Bo. Like, me and Bo was like this just because we went to IMG together. Like, that was a connection right there. And then just the IMG connection, like, when I say that, bro, like, tomorrow y'all really got to go out there and play as brothers, like y'all knew each other since y'all was yay high. Because that's just what it's going to be. If y'all don't do that, bro, this team is going to run through y'all.
Sir, thank you. Having the alums come back and really share their experience about brotherhood, that's the big message that came across. And the other message was that we don't lose in Texas. And our guys really gravitated to his speech, and he really set the bar high for us, and the guys lived it.
Very excited about having an opportunity to play Texas. I mean, we've been down, Greg's been here since a sophomore, and I finally see a Texas team on the schedule is huge.
Very important that the number one thing that we need to deal was that one of us would always come to his game. We're so proud of him, and he worked so hard, and IMG has been the best for us.
For us to be able to go to every game, either one of us or both of us, it's been really, really special. It's great for him to have all of his friends from home. We have a ton of family and friends here that came down from Chicago to support Jay.
Nigel Harris,
continually grow mentally.
Number 74 center, Greg Crippen.
You know, when he does go
number 56 right guard, Ethan Lane.
Whatever you do. So
number 54 right tackle.
Welcome into the high school football game of the year. This big matchup between the #1 team in the nation, IMG Academy, and the Duncanville Panthers from just down the road here in the Metroplex, ranked number 6. Would you believe 49 players in this game have at least one FBS offer?
Y'all control this game. Y'all are going to be the reason we have that ring on our finger at the end of the year.
Let's go, baby. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up.
Hey, y'all not saying I'm never die for y'all, all right?
Let's go, boys. Hey, Brotherhood on me, bound 3. 1, 2, 3.
Brotherhood.
We are ready to go from Globe Life Park.
One, ready?
And now we get a look at J.J. McCarthy.
Hey, he's coming. Hey, he's coming.
On 3rd and 12, McCarthy has a pocket. Throws left, and it is somehow caught. Racing down the sideline, Malik McLean, and pushed out of bounds.
All right, kick it.
We need to have protection. We do. It's just that they brought 6 instead of 5.
IMG Academy up 3-0 on the 31-yard field goal by Gavin Martin.
They've had a few weeks to process their final drive, 28-27 loss to North Palm Beach Prep. But the IMG Post-Grad Ascenders back, and Josh Phillips, it may not be heaven. It's definitely not Iowa. But the Field of Dreams Sports Academy comes here to Bradenton, Florida, to try and give the IMG Ascenders a chance to redeem themselves from that last possession loss.
It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon down here in Florida. Great for Field of Dreams Academy to come out here and test themselves against the IMG Ascenders. I know the Ascenders will be ready to play tonight. A lot of these guys have been salivating for the last couple weeks to get back on the field and get the opportunity to show what they can do. It's such a talented roster.
My name is Ryan Sudol, the voice of my broadcast partner, Josh Phillips, coming off a nice varsity team win here at IMG Academy Stadium on Thursday night. National team was off, and they will welcome Miami Northwestern, who will be in the top 5 probably in the nation after St. Thomas Aquinas lost their second game of the season last night to Cardinal Gibbons down in the Miami area. Ascenders wearing their all-black jerseys, white numerals, blue trim, white helmets. And for the Field of Dreams Sports Academy Stallions, wearing their white jerseys, navy numerals, and yellow trim. The kicker, that is Luke Jackson. And Field of Dreams, a true post-grad, just trying to make it a one-year program as the Ascenders field the first one in. They've got room down the sideline. Taylor Evans is brought down trying to get out of bounds. A nice return to the 35. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Ascenders.
Taylor Evans was patient on that return. He waited for the hole to open up. He bounced it back to the outside and almost broke that last tackle. He would have been off to the races, but he sets the Ascenders up with great field position on their first drive.
And Taylor Evans was one of the captains in the Post-Grad's first game here at IMG Academy. They'll have a few more games coming up here in the next few weeks as well. Some Saturday afternoon football. And Anthony Arnaud, your quarterback out of Santa Monica, trying to find the running back, Dorian Paris, who is brought down for a loss. Looks like there was just a little bobble on the snap to start, so the first play for IMG goes for negative yards.
The Ascenders lined up with a 2-back, split-back backfield. Hadn't seen that a lot from any of their squads this year, so we'll see if they come back to that much.
Now Arnaud, 2 receivers to each side, low snap. He's looking downfield. He's going to keep it himself. He gets up to the 30, tries to shake a tackle. He's still on his feet at the 35, and then finally falls forward to the 39-yard line. And it looked like it was going to be stopped in the backfield, and Arnaud turns it into a big gain.
Arnaud took a play that was going to be a negative play and made lemons out of lemonade on that one, was able to shake off the tackler and get about another 5 yards and set the Ascenders up for 3rd and 4.
Same formation, Dorian Paris on his right hip. Arnaud takes the snap, drops, pocket closing, pressure. He's hit and almost getting a hand to it. Looks like that was Jacoby Wheeler.
The Stallions definitely were able to get some pressure on Arnaud that play. He was getting hit just as he released the football. He actually threw a really catchable football to Dorian Paris, but I don't think Paris saw it. Missed it, unfortunately. Missed opportunity for the Ascenders.
So Gavin Gundiker on. And we saw a couple of bobbled snaps in the first drive for IMG. I hope they avoid any snap mishaps on this punt. It's nice back to Gundiker. Nice booming kick back to about the 20, as this one is fielded by Trenton Jackson. And he is stopped before he can get going, and it'll be a long field for the Field of Dreams Stallions.
He was swarmed. Zabal Alonso, Maurice McFarland, and several other Ascenders did a great job of covering that kick. Gundiker, like you said, Ryan, got off a beautiful punt. It turned over nicely, and that's the way to change the field position to push the Stallions back for their first drive.
So 1st and 10 from their own 14-yard line. It will be the quarterback, Collins Turner. I'll start with 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And the handoff to the big man up the middle, but bottled up quickly. Liam McCormick on that quick stop. And unfortunately for Andrew Wilson, he lost that size battle.
McCormick did a great job of setting the edge. Wilson tried to bounce it to the outside, and it was nothing doing. McCormick was right there to take him down.
At defensive line, John Copley, Liam McCormick. Also a last name you'll find familiar, Charlie Goodell, number 70. That is the nephew of the NFL Commissioner, Roger Goodell. It looks like Peter Shanny also getting some snaps today for this Post-Grad team. And now the pitch outside. That is Bryce Alexander, who's got some room. And coming up with it, looked like John Copley wanted to take that one back to the house, but the referees blew the play dead.
Alexander leapt, got flipped up in the air. The ball popped out when he hit the ground, but that is not a fumble.
And having a chance to talk with some of the coaching staff for Field of Dreams Sports Academy out of Newport Richey, just about an hour north of where we are here in Bradenton. Again, trying to get that true one-year post-grad experience, not a full 4 years like IMG Academy. And Turner takes the snap, looking, little screen pass. And that is going to be stopped before they can get the line to gain. Latrez Bradley unable to move forward, and 2 drives stalled for both the Ascender offense and the Stallion offense.
Hayden Pickney was in on that. That was good flow from the Ascenders defense. They were flying around, so really, really good pursuit, and they're going to get a punt out of this. 3 and out is the ideal way for their defense to start their first drive.
Taylor Evans back with his heels on the Ascender 38-yard line. This will be the first time we see the punt return unit. We've already seen Taylor Evans on kick return duty. And the snap back nicely and close to being blocked. They'll just have to put this one straight up, and we'll track out of bounds about the 47 or 48-yard line. We'll see where the officials spot it.
Terrell Foster with the pressure. He busted right through the center of that punt unit, and he was very, very close to getting his hands on that football. I think he definitely got in the head of the punter, forced a little bit of a shank off to the left here. So it sets the Ascenders up. They're, 1st and 10 here on the 45 going in.
So Anthony Arnaud, the quarterback, a school that you're familiar with. He coming from Santa Monica High School out in California.
Samo High, the Vikings, my first ever coaching job way back in 2006. Several of our Samo High players went on to play college football at Division I schools.
Now Arnaud awaits the snap. He takes it, and the hand is to Xavier Terrell, who has been in a walking boot for the last few weeks after getting hurt before the Duncanville game, which allowed Stacey Gage to get his first reps with the national team. Xavier Terrell, one of the most explosive freshmen in the country last year, comes in as a sophomore. He set the records that Stacey Gage has broken in a couple of games. Now play action. Arnaud, a little bit of a tuck rule. They're going to let that be a fumble. His arm was going forward. And they're going to say it's a fumble, even though he was definitely in a throwing motion. That is a call that I do not agree with.
We're shades of Tom Brady back when the Raiders sacked him in a very similar situation. Was the arm going forward? Was he trying to pull the ball back in? I would say I agree with you, Ryan. I would say that it did look like the arm was in forward motion. Now, I cannot be sure if he was trying to pull the ball back in, but it came out as the arm was in forward motion. That's a really tough call to go against the Ascenders at this point.
We'll just put that one in the Josh and Ryan disagree column for the officials' call on that. We'll, I'm sure, review that one in the post-game tape. And now they'll go under center. And the quarterback, Collins Turner, rolling to his left, getting about 4 yards on the play. The clock will stop, 7:19. And they've actually got the clock continuing to roll. They'll only give him about 3 yards on the play, so 2nd and 7. This from their own 48-yard line. And now this one. That is Charlie Goodell quickly into the backfield.
Charlie Goodell had great get-off on that play. He shot out the line of scrimmage and was able to put a swim move on that offensive lineman and rip right into the backfield, penetrate, and make that play for no gain for the Stallions. Great play by Charlie Goodell.
So 3rd and 8, they'll credit Charlie Goodell with a tackle for loss on the play, as he quickly busted through that O-line of Field of Dreams Sports Academy. Collins Turner waiting the snap. And he drops, and a nice block set up by Bryce Alexander. And this time, yet again, it is Liam McCormick shutting that play down. And right now, it's, if we were playing chess, Josh, this would be what's known as a stalemate. Nobody wants to bend or break just yet.
Well, that Ascender defensive line has been nearly impossible to block thus far. If the Stallions aren't able to block that pass rush, their quarterback is in trouble tonight. This afternoon. We're used to playing night games. This is only the second afternoon game we've had.
And putting pressure on the punter, Luke Jackson, and Taylor Evans is going to field it off a bounce and now cuts back and still staying on his feet, but he's going to take a loss, trying to do a little bit too much, but that'll bring him down at the 15. And now we'll see the Ascender offense, and Anthony Arnaud, again, definitely wants to get back out on the field and erase that turnover. It was probably wrongly awarded to Field of Dreams. And it looks like it will actually be Day Hooper out of Columbus, Ohio, getting his first snaps of the day. Dorian Paris and Xavier Terrell accompanying him to each hip. 1st and 10 from their own 15-yard line. Hooper takes the snap. The hand is to Terrell. He's got space at the 20. Up the field, stays on his feet, gets to the 30. And they're going to say he stripped it. but they're going to say forward progress was stopped. It's going to stay with the Ascenders.
It's great to see Terrell back on the field. A few weeks ago when we saw him go down with that ankle injury, didn't know how severe it was, didn't know how long he was going to be out. It's great to see him out there, and he looks like he's got all of his weapons back. He was explosive on that play, shot through that hole, got the Ascenders a first down.
Now trips to the right. Xavier Terrell to the left tip of Dayan Hooper. Hooper takes the low snap. He's going to keep it himself. He runs up to the 35, and that is where the play will stop. Gain of 5. The clock will continue to move. So will the IMG drive.
Hooper in a similar mold to Tyler Ross, who we see carry the ball a lot at quarterback for the varsity team. Hooper is definitely an athletic quarterback, and the Stallions are going to have to account for him when he's in at quarterback because that's an additional gap, an additional player that they have to account for every time he tries to carry the ball. I expect to see the Ascenders have some success when Hooper carries the football.
On that far side, Malachi Matthews, the 6'3", 185-pound wide receiver out of Lansing, Michigan. Most notably known for those Michigan State Spartans, and now play action to Terrell. Hooper rolling to his right. And just in between Taylor Evans and the freshman running back Stacy Gage. And incomplete will bring up 3rd and 5.
Gage had a step in the flat. Hooper had a tough angle. He tried to get it up over the defender just a little bit too high for Gage to reel it in. So 3rd and 5 is a very manageable down. Gives the offensive coordinator here for the Ascenders a lot of different things that he can go to. I expect to see some type of play action pass here, but the playbook is open at 3rd and 5. You can do anything you want.
Zay Hooper. Low snap. It goes to the turf. He's going to keep it himself and try to get the first down himself. He does, and then some. Tries to hurdle, takes off a helmet, and falls just shy of midfield. And what should have been a broken play for a loss turns into a first down and a sizable gain for the Ascenders.
Yeah, Hooper took his eye off that ball. It was a little bit of a low snap, and it hit the ground. It could have been dangerous for IMG, but the offensive line did such a great job blocking. Hooper had the opportunity to pick it up and advance it and still get the first down. And like I said, he's a dangerous ball carrier. He leapt up in the air. We saw helmets pop off for the Stallions, but that was a great play by Hooper to make something out of something that could have been terrible.
So they convert the 3rd down. The hand to Xavier Terrell straight up the middle of the 40-35 and brought down in Stallion territory to the 29-yard line. Xavier Terrell, you just see that lightning quick burst out of the backfield and went from 0 to 20 real quick.
Xavier Terrell has a lot of speed. That was a touchdown-saving tackle by Makai Tolliver. Otherwise, Terrell would have gone all the way to the end zone.
And Xavier Terrell setting all the rushing records at IMG Academy last year. Multiple 300-yard gains. And again, right now, though, the freshman Stacy Gage, who's also playing today.
I think on that last set, we actually had Gage and Terrell in the backfield at the same time. So these two running backs, Gage has come in the year after Terrell set all those records, and Gage is trying to break them as much as he can, but they're in the backfield together right now. That's got to be one of the most deadly backfields in the country, especially for two guys that are underclassmen. They're a sophomore and a freshman, just so much talent.
And we will take a break with the water break. 0-0, 3:21 remaining in the first. This is Ascender Football on IMG Academy TV. And we come back out of the water break. 1st and 10, the Ascenders marching. Day Hooper takes the snap. The hand is to Xavier Terrell. And he is brought down after about a gain of 1 or 2 on the play. It'll bring up Second and long for IMG Academy.
Tony Pearson, big Tony Pearson, 5'10", 350 there on the defensive line for the Stallions, was able to stack that play up. And as explosive as Terrell has been all night, that was the first time really that the Stallions have been able to bottle him up while he's still in the backfield.
Yeah, Terrell and Gage in the backfield with Day Hooper. Takes the snap, looking deep down the field, and almost the one-handed snag by Weston Adams. And he takes a shot into the upper back as he was trying to reel that in, and just a little too high for the receiver and incomplete.
Adams tried to make a mid-air adjustment on that play. It was thrown a little high and a little bit to his back left shoulder, so he tried to twist in the air to make that play. Unfortunately, he was only really able to get one hand on it.
Again, Hooper with the help of Gage and Terrell on his hips. Now the snap, play action to Gage, and they're going to throw into the flat to Terrell. It is deflected and incomplete. Will bring up fourth down.
Jacoby Wheeler, number 33 for the Stallions, was able to get his hands on that. It's unfortunate because Gage was wide open out there in the flat. If they'd have been able to get that ball just over top of the defender, I think Gage would have been able to run and probably get that first down.
So now it'll be Gavin Marshall with the 47-yard attempt. For those of you unaware right now, the wind is whipping directly towards the camera to this near sideline. So it will be the task for the kicker, Gavin Marshall. Snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up into the wind. It is up and good from 47 yards. Gavin Marshall puts the Ascenders on the board, 3-0. And, Josh, that's something that you and I are not accustomed to seeing because the IMG offenses are usually just so good at getting into the end zone. We only get to see the extra point team, so whenever we get a chance to see the field goal kickers come out and do what they are so good at, it's always fun watching a 47-yard field goal no matter what level you're at.
Absolutely, and all these kickers at every single level for IMG, all these teams, they have some of the best kickers in the nation. And it's unfortunate for those guys that they don't get more opportunities, but great for IMG that they're punching the ball into the end zone. But great to see that conversion on that 47-yard field goal. Plenty of leg. That would have been good from over 50, no question.
And with the wind blowing directly across the field, probably just aim at that left upright and hope the wind holds it in, and it does. And the Ascenders strike first.
I would say, though, that is a win for the Stallions to prevent IMG from getting 7 to force them to a 3-point conversion rather than getting a touchdown scored against them. So gives them an opportunity to come out and try to get their offense going.
And they'll have to get their offense going. They've been unable to really move a whole lot and not deep into Ascender territory at all as of yet. That defensive line has been just absolutely stout for the Ascenders. Now Marshall, this one will have a chance to be fielded, and two players fight for it. And coming up with it is the other twin, Traylon Jackson. And he will be brought down about the 20. Traylon and Trenton Jackson for the Field of Dreams Stallions are twins. And then also Makai Tolliver and Jalen Tolliver, number 6 and 7, actually cousins. And also getting to talk with the Field of Dreams staff. Told me they were trying to build something similar to IMG. They have players represented from over 15 states, all the way up from Washington, California, and Maine in the Northeast and down here in Florida. So getting some good representation. They had some of their housing rights stripped away, so they almost didn't get off the season, but they come into this game at 4-1, and they were actually able to get some new housing up in the Newport Richey area. So a great story for Field of Dreams Sports Academy, and said they were just trying to build something similar to IMG with just a little bit less resources. And there you see a nice stand by John Copley.
John Copley was not going to let that get outside. He fought to maintain his edge. He's supposed to hold the edge there as a defensive end, not let that ball carrier get outside of him. He absolutely did not. Kept his legs driving, keeping to a very, very short gain on first down for the Stallions.
And that brings up 2nd and 8. This from the Stallion 23-yard line. The running back is Andrew Wilson, 5'11", 215. The man in motion is Traylon Jackson. Now the snap, Collins Turner looking just that quick slant, and it's going to be incomplete. Beautiful coverage on the play by Pete Zuccolo with that Bourbonnais boomstick. And he causes the incomplete pass, was right there as soon as that play was caught, and causes the receiver to drop it. Excellent defense by the IMG secondary.
Absolutely. That zone drop that Zuccolo took, he dropped into his curl the flat responsibility, but his reaction was excellent. As soon as he saw that receiver hitch up there, he broke and he was able to knock that ball down and deflect it. So a great athletic play out there in the flat by Pete Zuccolo.
Pete out of Bourbonnais, Illinois, where the Chicago Bears used to hold their training camp on the campus of Olivet Nazarene. Although in talking to Pete's family, they'd only gone a few times to training camp because they're actually Steelers fans.
That was a missed opportunity on that third down by the Stallions. They tried to throw a slant route, but Turner was just a little inaccurate there. The slant was actually open. The receiver had been able to get inside position, and if he'd have caught that ball, he had a chance to get the first down. So a near miss by the Stallions, and now their punt unit is back out on the field. It looks like IMG could start with great field position again on this drive.
And on to punt. And also this Field of Dreams Sports Academy team will be playing that North Palm Beach prep team that the Ascenders lost to by a point in just a couple of weeks, but mentioned they come in at 4-1. Against some very tough post-grad competition in and out of the state of Florida. And the delay of game will push them back 5 yards.
This whole post-grad experience, it's hard to put a team together when you have guys for only 1 year to get any continuity in what you do. So I admire what they're trying to do and build something like what IMG has.
And a little bit backspin, but it will take the bounce, and it is quickly fielded by Mekhi Jones. And as soon as he put his hands on it, he was disappointed because he saw that it was bouncing towards the center territory. But might be a blessing in disguise because we've seen what Taylor Evans is capable of doing with any ball that's bounced or directly kicked to him.
Well, Taylor Evans is a little bit of a gambler back there, and I like that because he's confident as a punt returner, and he's willing to field the ball in some hairy situations. But that was definitely a mistake by Mekhi Jones to field that because that ball could have rolled for another 10 yards. We don't know. And his teammates, you could see the way they looked. What are you doing? When he grabbed the hold of that ball and stopped it from rolling forward.
Minute 48 remaining in the first quarter. Day Hooper takes the snap, has time, and pocket's going to close, and he is going to be brought down. Jacoby Wheeler, standing at 6'4", 235 pounds quickly. And also in on the coverage, Sean Perez, the 6'3", 225-pound defensive end. Day Hooper had nowhere to go.
Both of those players came off the edge with looping rushes and just need to shore up their offensive tackles there. Those guys just need to kick their legs back and make sure that they keep their hands on those defenders.
Now Hooper, the hand to Gage, who is quickly wrapped up. And it's Sean Perez again. Stacy Gage stopped in the backfield, not something we are accustomed to seeing.
No, and the pressure that this defensive line for the Stallions has put on these last couple plays is definitely something that we don't see on a regular basis from any of the IMG teams.
So 3rd and 21, IMG now back on their own 45-yard line. And we're starting to see a little chip on the shoulder of the Field of Dreams Stallions' shoulders and the defense, and we will take a break as the Ascenders will also take a timeout. Coach George Hegeman wanting to just have a talk with his offense. Again, 3-0 the score, 37.5 seconds remaining. This is Ascender football on IMG Academy TV. Welcome back, IMG Academy Stadium. Ryan Sudol and Josh Phillips getting ready to wrap up the first quarter of IMG Ascender postgraduate football here. And Day Hooper back in at quarterback.
Stallions are in a great situation here with 3rd and 20 to pin their ears back, bring pressure, and try to create a turnover.
Hooper takes the snap. Has to step up in the pocket. He does. He evades one. He gets across midfield to the 45 and shakes it to the 40, to the 30. Keeps his feet to the 25, 20, and finally brought down to the 15 on 3rd and 21. Day Hooper does it all by himself. And the Ascenders are in the red zone.
That play was all Day Hooper. The same pressure that we've seen the last couple of times came off the edge from the Stallions, and he was dead to rights. I thought that they were going to get a sack. Hooper not only stepped up in the pocket and avoided that first player, that first defender, and broke that tackle, but then he turned it into a huge gain, breaking multiple tackles and making moves downfield to give himself not just a first down, but now they've got a 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line going in.
Day Hooper with a 40-yard gain on 3rd and 21. And the Ascenders are going to look to add 7 more here on this drive, but we've already seen, even if they don't move forward here, Gavin Marshall, this is well within his field goal range.
I don't think the Ascenders want to come away with 3 this time. They want to try to punch that ball in the end zone and extend this lead up to 10.
So Taylor Evans, Malachi Matthews, and Weston Adams, your receivers, Xavier Terrell and Stacy Gage, the running backs, and
might have a delay of game here against the Ascenders.
And it's actually too many men on the field or an illegal substitution. So that's going to give the Ascenders 5 free yards, and it is an illegal substitution.
That's a costly penalty for the Stallions, moving the ball even closer to their own goal line.
1st and 5 with time ticking away. The final play of the first quarter. Here it comes. Day Hooper takes the snap. The hand is to Stacy Gage, looking up the middle, fighting forward, trying to get into the end zone. He does! Stacy Gage from 10 yards out gets 6 more for the Ascenders. And we've seen the speed that Stacy Gage is able to run with. There you see the strength.
Yeah, Gage had some determined running on that play. He had to drag a defender the last couple of yards to punch that ball into the end zone. So he's got the whole package. We know that. He's got speed, he's got moves, and he's got power.
Now Gundiger the hold, Marshall the boot. And at the final play of the first quarter, the Ascenders will get ready for the second. 10-0 their lead over Field of Dreams Sports Academy. And that time the Ascenders able to go the distance, to steal a little bit of a Field of Dreams pun. I'm sure you've probably got one in your back pocket for later in the game as well, Josh.
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for it. The right time. The right time to break it out. We'll see. But that's a great drive for the Ascenders to be able to go up now 10-0, to just continue to push their lead. What we haven't really seen tonight is we haven't seen consistency from the Stallions. They haven't been able to do anything consistently. Both teams are getting a lot of pressure from their defensive lines, but the Ascenders have been able to do a better job dealing with that pressure offensively and still make positive plays out of it. So the Stallions are going to get the ball back and have an opportunity to do something, but they haven't really shown us anything consistent, run or pass. The defense from the Ascenders has been dominant thus far this afternoon.
And we'll switch directions. IMG will now be attacking from south to north here in Bradenton, right to left on your screen. And just a few miles from the Gulf of Mexico, directly to our west, behind from where you are viewing, whether you're at home or watching on your Fire Stick. Appreciate you spending your Saturday afternoon. Well, there's also some Big Ten football kicking off today. A lot of IMG alumni playing in the Big Ten. Highlighted also by the Michigan-Minnesota Battle for the Little Brown Jug, which people have called me crazy when I predicted that Minnesota had a chance to win the Big Ten in the couple of years that they've gotten Australian Daniel Fa'alele, as well as former IMG alum Brock and Zach Annexstad, as well as a few other players. Coach P.J. Fleck, former Northern Illinois Husky wide receiver, former San Francisco 49er, working his way up the coaching ladder through Western Michigan, which kind of miffed some of the Northern Illinois alums, that being one of their biggest rivals. But Coach Fleck has taken some great IMG kids and has done a lot with them, and a chance to compete in the Big Ten this year. We'll see how that campaign starts tonight. Now Collins Turner with the snap and running right up the middle, and that is not an easy way to go if you are playing against the Ascenders. Charlie Goodell in on that, as well as Christian Oagwu. John Copley also there.
So the defensive line has been so stout for the Ascenders today. Really no running room for the Stallions out there. They haven't been able to establish anything on the ground.
Now Collins Turner awaiting the snap. Very quick on his feet, and he completes a pass. This one, number 17, Joey Chapman. Another guy we're going to want to keep an eye on. You see him on the near side. There is a flag, and it's going to be against Field of Dreams. But number 88, Jalen Mitchell, wide receiver at 6'3", 195 pounds. And just was talking to the coaches at Field of Dreams, and just absolute pure raw talent, gigantic hands, great speed, and just trying to get him polished up a little more before he goes on to the next level. And for quarterback Collins Turner, 6'3", 160 pounds. They were telling me he actually came to school at 140 pounds. And for a 6'3" guy, that is a very slender frame. And so to be up at 160, he's definitely got to put on about 20 or 30 more pounds if he wants to take some of those Division I or Division II hits at the next level.
Yeah, 140 pounds for a 6'3" man is quite light. But obviously he's put on weight already, so the Field of Dreams mess hall has been kind to him, and the weight program that they're on, that's good to see that he's putting on some weight. So Field of Dreams was able to get a short completion on that last play out in the flat, maybe build a little bit of confidence for their quarterback, Collins Turner. We'll see if they're able to come back here on 3rd down and long, 3rd and 7, and get a first down. But with the pressure that we've seen from the IMG Academy defensive line and linebacking core tonight, I don't expect Collins Turner to have a lot of time to get rid of the ball. So during this little break here, hopefully the Field of Dreams staff can come up with something to buy Collins Turner a little bit of time and get somebody open.
So 3rd and 8. Trips bunch to the left. Turner takes the snap, rolls to his right. He is very quick throwing with his body. He finds the receiver, and they're going to say incomplete. It was the one we were just highlighting, Jalen Mitchell, who was able to get his hands on it but unable to keep it in bounds. And it'll bring up 4th down and about 7 yards to go.
That was a smart play design. They tried to get Collins Turner outside on a rollout play to buy him a little bit more time for that big receiver, Mitchell, to run a comeback route on the sideline. And he was open. He was able to get past the sticks, but Collins Turner threw the ball a little bit late and a little bit too close to the sidelines, and Mitchell wasn't able to stay in bounds. So the punt unit comes back out for the Stallions. And that man we've talked about, Taylor Evans, back to receive this punt again. He is a dangerous return man.
And Evans will field it at his own 48 and only get about 4 or 5 yards on the play as the pile continues to move. That'll bring it to the Field of Dreams 46.
So football is a game of inches. It's a game of field position. And the Stallions have played almost this entire game on their own side of the field, which is not good. Their offense hasn't been able to move the ball or get first downs really at all. So that wears on a team. IMG keeps getting the ball on the 50, going in, putting themselves in position to score if they're able to move the ball at all. If the Stallions aren't able to shift field position a little bit, IMG is going to continue to add to their lead.
So 1st and 10 from the Stallion 46-yard line. And it is Anthony Arnaud back in at quarterback. Takes the snap, the hand to Dorian Parrish straight up the middle of the 40. And falls forward to the 35-yard line, 11 yards for Paris, and good for an Ascender first down.
That hole opened up, and Paris blasted right through it, straight downhill to get a 9-yard gain on first down.
They'll actually mark him a yard short. Looked like he fell forward to the 35. They'll mark it at the 37. The hand to Paris again, running right side. And this time he will get the 35-yard line and the first down.
That was a good form tackle by that Stallion defender, just not soon enough to stop the Ascenders from getting a first down.
So 1st and 10, fresh set of downs for Anthony Arnaud and Dorian Paris. Weston Adams split out to the near side. Along across the middle, it is Weston Adams. And also Taylor Evans also on the near side. They go to the large frame Weston Adams, and positive completion for Anthony Arnaud.
A little bit of a pick concept there on the outside. Adams and Taylor Evans were working that side of the field together, and they rubbed off each other, and it was able to get Adams free for that first down catch.
Now we have Julian Taylor in the near side slot. He goes in motion. The snap and just the quick pitch. He cuts upfield at the 35, and a flag coming in the neighborhood of a block in the back or a possible hold. And we'll see what the official call is on that little pitch. Won't go down as a rush because technically it went forward from Taylor Evans' hand, or Anthony Arnaud's hands, into Julian Taylor.
That play we call the jet sweep. It's just trying to out-leverage the defensive end, and it also forces the defense to have to pursue laterally, and that's always a threat. That way, if you have any success with it at all, it forces the defense to continue to think about that. That slows up the edge rush. It slows up some of the pursuit, and so it's a threat that they have to account for every time that man goes in motion, regardless of if he gets the ball at all. Does look like we got a hold, though, on the Ascenders, so that's going to come back, and that's going to put them at a 2nd and long.
I'll call it 2nd and 15 from the Stallion 40. Arnaud has Xavier Terrell on his left hip, trips to the left. Now the snap. Arnaud looks, finds a man, and quickly stood up. Play will be blown dead. Conlon Costanzo. He'll get 5 yards on the play. He'll bring up 3rd and 10.
The Stallions were bringing a 0 blitz on that play. The Ascenders had a great check down option on that short pass to account for that, so Arnaud could get that ball out of his hand quickly and not take a sack.
And we'll see where the Ascender coaching staff decides to go here. 2 receivers each side. Arnaud rolling out, and he is swallowed up in the backfield. Down he goes.
Sean Perez has been a terror this afternoon. Given the Ascenders offensive line all types of fits, he was able to get off the edge again and get home and get that sack on Arnaud. So it sets up a situation here where I don't think the Ascenders are going to try a long field goal. They're going to punt it. They're going to play the field position battle and see if they can pin the Stallions deep in their own territory.
The other Gavin Gundiker, back to punt. And this one will go end over end. Will bounce and take a Field of Dreams bounce, and then downed at the 15 or 16-yard line. And another long field and a long way to go for the Stallions.
Yeah, the Stallions have been on the short side of the field position battle all afternoon, but that was about the best they could hope for on that possession. The Ascenders took the football again on their side of the 50 heading in, and to get a stop and force a punt, that's all you can ask for from the Stallion defense. So their offense really has to get something going. Their offense has been putting their defense in tough positions this entire game.
Looks like we're also seeing Taylor Evans now playing a little defensive back, along with Leo Martinez. And pressure coming. That play, forward progress for number 25, Andrew Wilson, was stopped.
The inability for the Stallions to run the football continues. That front seven for the Ascenders has been stout. They've given up virtually nothing thus far.
Second and 12 from their own 14-yard line. Clock ticking away. 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Matthew Spencer to the near side along with Traylon Jackson. And a delay of game coming. Saw a few of those with the varsity team on Thursday evening, a game that they won fairly handily. 41-12 the final for the varsity Ascenders. And 2nd and 12 now turns into 2nd and 17. Collins Turner quickly up the field and then brought down from behind. Great pursuit by John Copley.
Turner was able to tuck that one and make something out of it and get a positive gain, set him up for a 3rd and 9, a 3rd and less than 10 here. But this deep in your own territory, still not an ideal position to be in, and it sets the IMG defense up for an opportunity to create a turnover or get a sack.
Now Turner with trips to the right. One man in motion is Brian Stimke. Takes the snap. Looks across the middle. It's intercepted by IMG Academy. Logan Aiello with a look what I found right to him. And the Ascenders have the ball with a short field.
They tried to go back to that slant route that was open earlier in the game, but Aiello made a great zone drop. He has that hook to curl area, and Collins Turner never saw him, and he came perfectly underneath that. Great hands, and returned it all the way down inside the 20. So IMG is set up to just continue to build on their lead, in a great play by Aiello.
So Anthony Arnaud with Weston Adams and Taylor Evans deep to his left, Malachi Matthews and Julian Taylor. To his right, Xavier Terrell accompanies him on his left hip. Arnaud completes to Julian Taylor, cuts upfield at the 20, 15, 10, 5, spins out of bounds. I'll give him about the 7-yard line. Julian Taylor, 5'8", 171 pounds, but a very strong 171 pounds out of Richmond, Virginia, home to the Richmond Spiders as well as the Virginia Commonwealth Rams. Arnaud now 1st and goal from the 7. Takes the snap. The hand is to Xavier Terrell, and quickly into the backfield, Jose Whitfield. And that is a size advantage that Xavier Terrell is not going to win. 6'4", 285 pounds to the very slender Xavier Terrell.
Whitfield broke through into the IMG backfield right away. I'm not sure if there was a missed assignment there, but nobody got their hands on him, and he was able to penetrate and get his hands on Terrell and wrestle him to the ground before he could get going.
Officials taking some time. Xavier Terrell, 5'7", 155 pounds, so almost doubled up. All he had to do was get around him, but not much getting around when it comes to 6'4", 285. And they go to Terrell again. This time he tries to shift, escapes one tackle, and still stays on his feet.
Terrell really had no hole to run through that play. We had a couple of Stallions in the backfield, and he tried to dance around, but he couldn't break himself free. The Stallions' defense has actually been decent today against the run. Usually we're used to seeing the IMG Academy just enforce their will against opponents in the run game, and the Stallions have done a good job holding up against that. They've just been losing the field position battle.
Arnaud drops, looking little corner route into the end zone and in and out of the hands of Malachi Matthews. He wants to have that one back.
Oh, he definitely had an opportunity to reel that one in, but Jalen Tolliver got his hands on the ball. Just it was getting into Malachi Matthews' hands, and he was able to kind of punch it out, and Matthews didn't bring it in. But I know that Matthews is kicking himself because that was a well-thrown ball by Arnaud and an opportunity to catch that ball in the back corner of the end zone for the TD.
So we've seen Gavin Marshall good from 47 yards. His other Gavin Gundiker, the holder, this one will be from about 28. And it's up and good, no problems, but there is a flag.
If that is roughing the kicker, that's going to be a terrible penalty for the Stallions. I'm not sure that's what it is. We're waiting to see the call.
Trying to hear what the officials are saying.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought. They got some type of either a running into or a roughing the kicker. That's very costly. That's going to put the Stallions defense back out there, and IMG is going to get a first down inside the 10-yard line. Likely is going to be a 4-point difference here between a field goal and IMG being able to get into the end zone. And the Stallions have done a good job holding up, stiffening up as a defense, and stopping that drive. So
they were able to shut down the Ascenders with 1st and goal from the 7, but the roughing the kicker now a fresh set of downs and 2 yards closer. It's going to be 1st and goal from the 5. And coming onto the field, we see Stacy Gage and also Davis Hawkins checking in to the slot on that side of trips to the right. Weston Adams, the lone target, to the near side. Arnaud awaits the snap from 5 yards out. He rolls to his right. Pressure coming from behind, and it is tipped up and almost caught after the deflection. It'll bring up 2nd and goal. 4:12 remaining in the half.
Arnaud was trying to wedge that ball in to his big tight end, Davis Hawkins, who had just come into the game. But the Stallions were ready for that. They were ready for that rollout action, and they jumped it, and they were able to deflect it and make the play. But IMG's got Stacy Gage alone in the backfield now with Arnaud, and they've got the big tight end, Davis Hawkins, to the trips side of the formation.
But Field of Dreams stacking the box. Arnaud, just quick, has Stacy Gage in the flat. He's able to evade 1 tackle. 2, spins forward and gets about 2 yards on the play. They'll get him up to the 3-yard line. So that'll bring up 3rd and goal.
Jacoby Wheeler with a great reaction. They were trying to get Gage the ball on a little swing route. Thought that he'd be all alone in the backfield, but he wasn't. Wheeler made a good reaction. Gage spun away from him, but then the pursuit got there.
Now Taylor Evans to the right side with Malachi Matthews. Xavier Terrell checks in as a tailback as well. He bounces to his left, tries to cut forward into the end zone, evades 2 tackles. X gonna give it to you. Xavier Terrell gets in from 4 yards out and puts the Ascenders up 6 more.
X did definitely give it to him on that play because it wasn't well blocked, but Terrell was able to bounce it to the outside. There were 3 defenders out there that he evaded with his speed, explosiveness, and his cutting ability to weave his way into the end zone. So really athletic, great running by Xavier Terrell.
And now for the point after, Gavin Marshall. We saw him connect on that 28-yard field goal. So the extra point, a mere chip shot with 3:25 remaining in the half. The Ascenders take a 17-0 lead over Field of Dreams Sports Academy.
This has just been a war of attrition in terms of yardage for the Stallions. They've been on the bad side of the yardage battle and the field position battle this entire game, and it's just wearing them down. Honestly, their defense has made some good plays, but you can't keep holding up and holding up and holding up against this IMG attack. And their offense, the Stallion offense, has to give them something, or this game is going to get out of hand.
And don't forget, you can interact with all things IMG Academy on all platforms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow along at IMG Academy. Use the hashtag Brotherhood. That is the motto here for the 2020 season. Also, if you're watching in the Facebook Live, go ahead and drop any questions you may have for myself or Josh Phillips. Josh coming from the Ivy Leagues as well as some NFL and AFL experience as well. Just bringing a wealth of knowledge and a new dimension to IMG Academy TV broadcasts this year. And again, just as any questions or comments or concerns, we'll try to address them as the game progresses. And maybe at halftime as this one fielded at the 1-yard line by Traylon Jackson, who's got some space, but Conlon Costanzo making the tackle. Also, if you go to the IMGA football Twitter, you can see some of the accolades that former IMG players have gotten. Top SEC O-line, Evan Neal with Alabama. Ascenders with a few. Also, Trey Sanders, a running back for the Crimson Tide, but just getting tons of Player of the Week nods. Josh Kando getting a turnover touchdown for Florida State as they upset the number 5 team in the country last week. Quarterback Bryson Lucero at University of Alabama, Birmingham, making some waves as an underclassman, as that is an incomplete from Collins Turner.
We got a new quarterback in the game, Ryan. It's number 16, DeKoven Khan, who is he's a big boy himself at 6'3", 225. In his first snap, the IMG defense again put pressure on him. He had to run out of that pocket and scramble for his life. Not the way you want to start your first snap at quarterback.
So DeKoven Khan, 2 receivers to each side, takes the snap. You can definitely see the size difference. That one just through the hands of Leo Martinez, looking to get another pick 6 possibly. He's going to want that one back.
Khan had happy feet in the pocket. He was not comfortable back there, and he tried to gun the ball in, but it was off target, and Martinez almost had another pick 6. So 3rd and long on the first drive with Khan in at quarterback, and this is definitely a passing situation, and the IMG defense is going to bring some type of pressure.
Already pitching the perfect game. Has a defensive spot with that donut still on the scoreboard, and now Khan looking deep, and a beautiful pass right on the numbers to Traylon Jackson, and that will put them just on the other side of midfield into Ascender territory.
Signs of life for the Stallions. Khan on his 3rd pass attempt, able to sling the ball perfectly over the outstretched arms of an IMG defender and hit that back shoulder of number 22, Traylon Jackson. So a really well-thrown football by Khan.
Khan, your more traditional quarterback body. And now looking for that deep ball and trying to find Jalen Mitchell. And just, you talk about some of the size differences and how much that 70 pounds makes a difference, not just in strength, but in also protecting the quarterback, whereas you've got your traditional quarterback out there like Dakoven Khan. Now you look at a guy like Collins Turner, kind of reminds you a little bit of some of those whack quarterbacks from way back in the era, even a very similar frame to what Colin Kaepernick had when he was back at Nevada with the Wolfpack. Very quick feet, quick hands as well. But now you see
Colin Kaepernick's a big boy. I coached against him when he was playing for Nevada as a senior when I was at Cal, and he ran all over us.
As that pass goes incomplete, probably a part of one of the greatest college football games I've ever seen, and their upset of Boise State when they were in possible BCS contention for playing for a national championship. A game that saw a very controversial Boise State field goal go over an upright that was ruled no good. And again, he was definitely one of the players of the year to watch with the Wolfpack for Nevada.
So Khan is back in the same situation he was on the last set of downs, 3rd and 10 here in a clear passing situation.
And this one will be behind. That's going to be a fumble. The Ascenders can fall on it. It's picked up. Going the other way. Terrell Foster is going to bring it to the house and into the end zone. Touchdown. The Ascender defense was already pitching the shutout, but now they put points on the board.
That is such a swing of momentum. The Stallions had made a play. They were finally starting to do something, driving the football on 3rd down and long. Khan just tries to swing the ball out to his back, but he threw it backwards, and it went through the hands of the running back. Zabal Alonso was right there to kind of break that up, and then the ball was bouncing around, still in bounds. The Ascenders were able to pick it up, return it all the way for the touchdown. So what a swing. Now 23, possibly going to be 24-0 here. That's got to be demoralizing for the Stallions.
Terrell Foster, 6 foot, 190 pounds, out of Kennesaw, Georgia. Looked like he might have been getting ready to step out of bounds as he picked it up or just fall on it. Instead, he scoops, he scores, and the Ascenders now starting to pull away.
Yeah, Foster did a great job of scooping and scoring and staying in bounds. He was right next to the sideline as he was trying to field that, and he kept his feet in bounds, showed some balance and athleticism to stay in bounds on that.
Now Gavin Marshall on for the point after. Snap is down. The hold is down as well. The kick is up and good. 2:14 remaining in the half. The Ascenders take a 24-0 lead over the Field of Dreams.
Field of broken dreams at this point.
They know that they were going to have a uphill climb coming here to IMG Academy to play one of the most reputable sports academies in not just the entire country, the entire world. Again, known for more than just football, also defending basketball national champions, defending baseball national champions. They've done some Olympic training here for track and field, also some of the greatest golfers, tennis players, Andre Agassi, Serena Williams, names you may have heard of before, Maria Sharapova, have all been right here in Bradenton. Cam Newton runs a 7-on-7 tournament. Whenever the Oakland Raiders play the Miami Dolphins, they like to spend their week here at IMG Academy. We've also seen Florida State and Michigan University host spring trainings here just because the facilities are second to none.
As you drive in the front gate here at IMG Academy, there's a large sign that says Home of Champions, and it has a picture of several of the different national championship squads that are here. If you are an athlete and you want to compete at the highest level, there's no better place for you to be than Bradenton, Florida.
And there, Traylon Jackson runs into his own man. It was Jerry Walker that tried to help usher him forward, but a nice return. And the special teams unit, very solid for the Stallions.
Looks like big Dakoven Khan is going to come back out for his second possession at quarterback. The last one ended with a ball thrown backwards, not fielded by his running back and picked up and run all the way back for the score by Terrell Foster. his confidence has got to be shaken a little bit right here. We'll see if Khan is able to gather himself and put together a drive here. The Stallions have not sustained a drive or gotten more than a couple first downs this entire game.
Now Khan awaits the snap. 2 receivers to each side. He drops, pocket closing. Copley was giving pressure. And it is Traylon Jackson. He's been an offensive playmaker at 6 foot, 175 pounds. And he will get the first down for the Stallions.
That was a well-thrown ball by Khan. Way to bounce back from his last pass attempt. Got a 10-yard out there. He hit it right in stride. Put it right on the numbers, right in the chest of Traylon Jackson. So way to bounce back for him.
So 1st and 10 on their own 43, just under 2 minutes remaining in the half. And a little slow snap to Khan across the middle. And Zaccolo with the initial contact, but still fighting to stay up. Traylon Jackson. And a late flag.
I give Khan a lot of credit for his last 2 throws. That play was what we like to call staring down the gun barrel of the defense because he had pressure right in his face. He was getting hit just as he threw the football, and he gunned it in there, and that was a perfect throw on the in-breaking route.
And the penalty is going to be against IMG Academy, and it's a face mask. Again, for those of you that are deciding to watch the IMG Post-Grad team instead of your typical college football Saturday, we'll give you an update on some scores as well, let you know how some of our IMG Ascenders are doing at Clemson. We talk about DeMonte Capehart and Xavier Thomas taking on Syracuse, which has who we used to call Ocho Cisco for the Orange, as well as Mikel Jones. And a false start will bring Field of Dreams back, but also for Ohio State and Nebraska. Ohio State boasting Legend Cavazos, youngster from IMG from last season. Now 1st and 15. Khan looking for that deep corner route into the end zone and about 3 yards too far, intended for Matthew Spencer.
Spencer was open. He'd gotten a couple of steps there, and it was unfortunate. Khan threw it well out of bounds. It wasn't even in contention for Spencer to be able to make a play on it. So Khan has made a couple of good throws in a row, but that one was errant.
And we've seen Khan, just a very strong arm, very poised in the pocket as well. Andrew Wilson, the 5'11", 215-pound running back, accompanies him to the left. 2 receivers each side. Pressure coming quickly and bottled up. That is Peter Shanny. And that will force Field of Dreams to take a timeout. But Shanny quickly into the backfield, and he was not going to let go.
The initial pressure was put on by linebacker Hayden Pickney. Pickney was coming on a blitz. Khan tried to step up to avoid getting sacked by Pickney, and he stepped up right into Shanny, who wrestled him down for the loss. A nice play by both of those Ascender defenders. So we've got 3rd and 15 here. We've seen that Khan has plenty of arm to throw any throw that you want him to throw on the football field. He can throw the deep breaking in route. He can throw the deep breaking out route. He's got a strong arm. At 3rd and 15 in this situation, I expect the IMG Academy defense to bring pressure. Somebody is going to bring pressure. It'll either be a zero blitz or they're going to play some type of zone defense, but they'll do a stunt up front to try to shake up the pass blocking for the Stallions and rattle Khan.
24-0 the score in favor of IMG Academy. See some questions in the Facebook Live chat that we'll address at halftime. Again, thank you for spending your Saturday afternoon with us here. Typically our Thursday or Friday night lights. We had the night off last night and saw some big results. Miami Northwestern beating Miami Central, which should bolt them into the top 5 in the country. Now rolling to his right, Kahn. Looking downfield, and it is caught, but incomplete, just out of bounds. And again, with that Miami Northwestern, Miami Central result, Northwestern will be coming here next Friday night, so that will be the game of the week, number 1 versus whatever they decide to rank the Northwestern Bulls, as St. Thomas Aquinas, who was ranked 3rd in the country last night, falling to Cardinal Gibbons in Fort Lauderdale. Just an absolutely heartbreaking result for St. Thomas Aquinas. Can't say that I'm too sad to see it, though. So we'll see the field goal unit. Luke Jackson, 5'10", 178 pounds with kicking and punting duties. This from 44 yards, and it's good. So with 50 seconds remaining in the first half, Field of Dreams Academy is able to get on the board. It's only 3, but that's a big 3 if you're coming to play IMG Academy.
It is a big 3. Their offense hadn't been able to do anything for the last several drives. They've sustained nothing. That's the first time they've been able to get multiple first downs in a row. They switched the field, and then they were able to get 3 points on the board. And just before halftime, going in, that is a momentum builder. That's something that the coaches can talk about. And it's not that they haven't been able to make any individual plays. They just haven't been able to string anything together with any consistency. So there's a lot that I'm sure that these Stallion coaches are going to talk to their team about at halftime. But those 3 points, bigger than you think at this point in the football game.
And also getting a note also in the Facebook Live chat here that Collins Turner actually attended a camp here at IMG Academy 2 years ago during a tough family time. So you're very welcome to Melissa in the chat for saying thanks for the experience here at IMG Academy. Again, not just the full boarding school, but they do run camps throughout the year for, we mentioned football, golf, tennis, baseball, soccer, basketball. And this one booted into the end zone, and the Ascenders will have 45 seconds to maybe add one more, as Field of Dreams Sports Academy will get the ball to begin the second half. And we'll step aside for about 15 minutes at halftime.
I'm interested to see which quarterback IMG brings into the game in this situation, and if they're going to try to be aggressive and do anything moving the ball down the field with a couple of timeouts, or if they're just going to basically try to run the clock out and go in with the lead that they have.
Also in the Facebook Live chat, we're being corrected on our pronunciation of DeKoven Can, not Khan. Thank you for the correction. We only got a little bit of pronunciation help pregame, so appreciate the assistance from the Field of Dreams fans tuning in from Newport Richey and all around the country. Day Hooper, he'll keep it himself. 1st and 10 from their own 20, and Hooper able to lower his shoulder and stays on his feet, leaves his feet. Able to get about 12, call it 14 yards on the play.
Hooper has had several huge runs tonight. He's a very athletic quarterback, and he's a threat to carry the football every time.
Trips left. Hooper now looking to go to the air. He's got a roll to his right. Has a man. It's Dorian Paris, who is brought down out of bounds. So 15.7 left in the first half. Day Hooper with a lot of options on the field. Davis Hawkins, Weston Adams. We'll see Taylor Evans check back in. And Hawkins will actually step off. We'll see Xavier Terrell join Day Hooper in the backfield with Dorian Paris. Believe that's Malachi Matthews on the far side. In motion is Xavier Terrell. He catches that little wheel route at the 30, cuts upfield at the 40, 45, and absolutely throws one twin, Trenton Jackson. That's going to be one he'll want to watch again. Trenton Jackson at 6 foot 175, and the small Xavier Terrell just ragdolling him into the linesman.
Jackson initially made a great reaction on that play to stop Terrell from getting that first down, but then Terrell just shook him off, just tossed him off with his right arm and threw him into the flag on the sideline.
Now, it looks like there may have been a hold downfield, which will bring this back to 2nd and 12 with 7 seconds to go. So the final play of the half. And we'll see if maybe we can see Day Hooper's arm strength. Takes the snap, drops, has time to throw, and it's fumbled. He's almost able to pick it up, and it will be fallen on, but that is how the half will end. It looks like Colin Henrik was able to recover it, so the Ascenders would have had it anyway. Instead, we'll go into the halftime. Ascenders with a 24-3 lead over Field of Dreams Sports Academy. And there's some whistles going on, so before we send you to our halftime break, we'll see what the call is.
Trying to see if there's a penalty and if the half can end on that penalty, or they're waving it off. So we're going to go to halftime, but that was a dangerous way for the half to end. The one thing you would definitely not want is to have some type of a fumble or a turnover that the Stallions were able to pick up and scoop or score. Lucky for the Ascenders, that's not how it ended up. And the half is over. They're going in with that 24-3 lead, a comfortable lead.
And we will say thank you to our sponsors, Gatorade, Under Armour, and Zenith. Zenith keeping our players well protected, Under Armour keeping our players well dressed, and Gatorade keeping our IMG Academy Ascenders well hydrated. That is your halftime score. IMG Academy 24, Field of Dreams Sports Academy 3. You're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV.
There's a fog out there, and it's calling you by name. It wants to wrap its whole self around you, make you forget who you are. But you won't forget. You've got to find your way through that fog, through the unknown. There's only one way. Run.
We're going to talk a little bit about wall training. Let's go.
We're going to go 3 different types of lunges.
Just keep that back flat.
Today we're going to take you through a full body workout. So let's go.
IMG Plus online camps take the world-renowned coaching and training methodology that helps create high-performing athletes here on site in Bradenton, Florida, and makes it accessible online, allowing for athletes to the ease and convenience of training without having to travel. While most online training platforms feature only pre-recorded instruction, IMG Academy Plus camps deliver daily live video sessions and interactions with IMG coaches and personalized analysis of your game. So not only do we provide a proven training plan, we evaluate and provide feedback on your progress so you know what to do and how to continue improving. So first you have to select the week that you would choose to partake in the activity. On Monday, you'll have a live video call with your coach that will give you instruction and explanation for the week's curriculum. Next, you'll receive access to your plan for the week. Now, this is going to be specific training that is tied to sports development as well as your APD curriculum. APD will include performance training in areas like movement, mental training, and athletic regeneration. Throughout the week, you're going to record yourself or have someone record your actions. You'll submit those videos to your coach for full analysis, and then they will be returned each day. The process will continue Monday through Friday, and at the end of the week, you'll have a full training experience that touches on all of the different aspects in that sport and all levels of development. So the coaches that are going to be working with our virtual campers are going to be the same coaches that work with our student athletes, with our campers, and with our pros that train here on site year-round. They're going to use some of the same methodology that has helped IMG Academy student athletes become some of the world's top athletes.
You think you know us? You think you know what we're about?
One IMG Academy here in Florida.
You think you know what it takes to succeed here? To focus? To grind?
Here we go.
Every single day? You don't even know the half of it.
Let's go!
This here is a brotherhood. We're talking about a got your back now and forever.
Let it out!
Push you harder than you've ever been pushed kind of brotherhood. It's a brotherhood that recognizes the success that came before us and the expectations for us to maintain it. Because the last thing we'd ever do is disappoint our brothers.
24th pick, Cesar Ruiz. 44th pick, Grant Delpit. 46th pick, KJ Hamler.
Scarborough breaks the tackle, surging forward, he's in for the touchdown.
We hear what you're saying. The haters, the doubters, the people who throw shots without any idea of the work we put in and the sacrifices we make. But we'll let you in on a little secret. It doesn't matter. You know why? We hold ourselves to a higher standard than anyone could ever set for us. Work harder. Get stronger. Be smarter. Play faster. Dream bigger.
Unreal. IMG dominating.
This one getting a little out of control.
This is a brotherhood. So you think you know us? Well, you're about to find out.
The academic programs at IMG Academy are designed to be complementary to our athletic programs, but our goal is to be admitted and successful at the nation's most select institutions. The competition that's out on the field or on the court turns over into the classroom where students are looking to push themselves. Each year, we generally feature National Merit Scholars, AP Scholars, the Service Academies, the Ivy Leagues, elite academic D3 institutions, and everywhere in between. Ultimately, we want to provide the best fit for each of our student athletes. The academic program has 3 tracks. First and foremost is our college preparatory track. Then we have a full honors track beginning in 8th grade. And then lastly, we have AP courses for our most academically competitive students. Over the last few years, the academic program has grown both in its physical size, as we recently added 30,000 square feet for an increased number of classrooms, a dedicated English as a second language space, 2 hands-on engineering labs, as well as a broadcast TV studio space. We've increased the overall number of faculty to help keep our class sizes down, as well as add depth and breadth to the curriculum by adding new courses each year. At IMG Academy, our goal is to provide the skills and the knowledge to help our student athletes prepare for success at their chosen college or university.
IMG Academy is easily one of the most unique places in the country.
All right, let's go. Let's get to work.
Every college, every university, every major program in the country comes to IMG to recruit these kids.
LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia's, they're gonna come knocking on our door because our kids are ready to play right away, ready to compete.
If you can prove yourself at IMG, you can go on to the next level and be successful.
You're here for a reason, and this place is filled with the best.
You know, as an athlete, they want to get better every day. And these kids come here because of the competition and be the best that they can be.
What I want here is a family culture. The Brotherhood is coming closer together. And as a team, if we think as one, we're going to accomplish a lot of our goals.
Welcome to the Bradenton area, where the easy pace of island life comes naturally in this coastal playground with endless white sand beaches, stunning natural preserves, relaxing vibes all around, and it's a seafood lover's paradise. Stay a while to explore downtown Bradenton with top-rated attractions and a friendly community set along the Bradenton Riverwalk. Come lose yourself in the sun-drenched Gulf Coast of Florida and change your reality in the Bradenton area. Learn more at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Do you really think the greatest of all time just came from nowhere? Of course not. Because everyone starts somewhere, and champions start here. Grown rep by rep, conditioned by pro-level coaches who have earned their stripes. Built in elite camps, training day after day. Drilled until second nature becomes first. Start at IMG Academy.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
You ever have that day? You know, that day, that very moment, you got better. Your better got better. What if that day was every day?
This is your game. You live it, breathe it, dream it. And so do we. We design it, test it, build it, and repeat. This is what you live for. Zenith. Live your game.
IMG goes on the road Saturday to play number 6 Duncanville. So you got a 1 versus 6. Yeah, I just love the fact that IMG is going back to Texas. You know, you brought up the last time they went there was 2015.
Going into the week of Duncanville week, we called it, kids talked about some downtime for us just to recover and grow as a team. You know, Victory Monday this week consists of taking them to the beach, where the players could just lounge out and start to enjoy each other. We had players play in the ocean. We had guys study on the beach. So it was a great way just to fool around with our guys, get to know them in a different site, and we did a great job with it.
Had a lot of motivation in us going into Duncanville, and just the practice energy was definitely different from the weeks prior. It was an unneeded motivation that was just in us, and we were ready to play. This is a game that I've been excited for. There is no fear, there is no pressure felt when we put in the work that we do and we prepare the way we prepare. We love when everyone's against us, and it adds another chip on our shoulder to just keep going and prove that we're the best team in the country.
Y'all got an amazing opportunity, man, for real. Like, coming to IMG, man, like, it really changed my life for real. Just my first, week I got there. DeAndre, Tony Jones. I met Bo before he left. A lot of guys, man, plenty of guys that I still talk to this day. Like, in the Snapchat group chat with Tony and, 3 other guys that I went to school with. It's just like a brotherhood, bro. Like, y'all gonna know y'all teammates through college, through league. Got to Alabama, man, met Bo. Like, me and Bo was like this just because we went to IMG together. Like, that was a connection right there. And then just the IMG connection, like, when I say that, bro, like, tomorrow y'all really got to go out there and play, as brothers, like y'all knew each other since y'all was yay high. Because that's just what it's going to be. If y'all don't do that, bro, this team is going to run through y'all. Thank you.
Having the alum come back and really share their experience about brotherhood, that's the big message that came across. And the other message was that we don't lose in Texas. And our guys really gravitated to his speech, and he really set the bar high for us, and the guys lived it.
Very excited about having an opportunity to play Texas. We've been down, Greg's been here since a sophomore, and I finally see a Texas team on the schedule is huge.
Very important that the number one thing that we made a deal was that one of us would always come to his game. We're so proud of him, and he worked so hard, and IMG has been the best for us.
For us to be able to go to every game, either one of us or both of us, has been really, really special. It's great for him to have all of his friends from home. We have a ton of family and friends here that came down from Chicago to support Jay.
Nigel Harris.
Continually grow mentally.
Number 74 center,
It's great experience
Greg
because,
Crippen.
when he does go
Number
to
56,
play on
White
power.
Hart.
Welcome back. Second half action getting ready to get underway here at IMG Academy Stadium in Bradenton, Florida. Ryan Sudol alongside my broadcast partner, Josh Phillips. The Ascenders with a 24-3 lead. The scoring started out with a Gavin Marshall 47-yard field goal that put the Ascenders up 3-0. Stacey Gage adding a 10-yard rushing touchdown that put them up 10-0. And then a Logan Aiello interception set up the Xavier Terrell 4-yard touchdown that made it 17-0. And then Terrell Foster with the scoop and score that helped put the Ascenders up 24-0 before conceding a late field goal to Field of Dreams Sports Academy. And they will get the ball to start the second half. The Stallions had been pretty strong, but they just haven't been enough to get through these IMG trenches.
I think the story of the first half was the IMG defensive line, front seven, and their dominance. They never allowed the Stallions to get anything going until very, very late in that first half when Can came in at quarterback. And that'll be what will tell the tale in the second half. Can he do it? They're going to have to throw the ball to get back in this football game. They haven't been able to run it with much success. Can clearly has a strong arm, so we'll see if he's able to throw the Stallions back into this game.
And Gavin Marshall walking his steps off. Back to the Ascender 30. Again, if we do get to a 35-point lead, we will have a running clock. This one booted back, and it is one of the playmakers, Traylon Jackson, who's got some space at the 15, tries to cut up field, turns back the other way. And he's got room at the 25, 30, stays on his feet, but tripped up the little shoelace tackle. I believe that was number 33, Pete Zaccolo.
Zaccolo with an important tackle there because Jackson had some room to run. When he reversed field and came back across, started to part there like the Red Sea near the sideline, and he had an opening. It was going to be between him and one more IMG defender to get all the way to the end zone, and he had a little bit of a convoy starting to form in front of him. So Zaccolo with a touchdown saving tackle potentially.
So 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. And it is DeKoven Can, 6'3", 225 pounds, who had the Stallions moving in a positive direction at the end of the first half. Also saw some good work from Collins Turner, but again, we've seen this Ascender defense just too strong, although that time it is Latrez Bradley who's got some space and into Ascender territory.
Can went under center almost the entire game thus far. All the quarterbacks, both quarterbacks for the Stallions have been in shotgun. He went under center that time, and then he handed the ball off to number 20, Latrez Bradley, and Bradley gets the first really big gain on the ground for the Stallions in this entire game.
So an early first play in Ascender territory for the Stallions. 44 yards out to try to cut into this 3-score deficit. The hand straight up the middle, and the ball is put down on the turf and quickly recovered by Joey Chapman. And
Looked
that
like
would go for no gain.
Looked like Zabal Alonso might have got in there and been part of forcing that fumble. Lucky for the Stallions that they were able to get on top of that before the IMG Ascenders did and hold on to the possession.
And Juan Zabal representing one of 3 players in the IMG football programs from Mexico, out of Mexico City. Just a kid that loves to play football, loves to hit, and we've seen him do it on both sides of the ball. DeKoven Can with the hard count is going to get 5 free yards. On the encroachment from IMG Academy.
That hard count got that blitzing IMG defense to come off sides. You could tell that they were going to bring pressure on that play.
Now Can takes the snap, rolls to his right, pressure coming. It's Peter Shanny, and one-handed grab. And Terrell Foster, but credit to Traylon Jackson. What an incredible catch, even though it goes for a significant loss. Terrell Foster just able to sniff that out. It probably would have been better off just letting that go down as an incomplete, but again, as an offensive playmaker, you always think you can make a big play out of something. Terrell Foster wasn't having it on that one.
One of the biggest differences I see between Can and Collins Turner is Can doesn't move quite as well. Collins Turner is able to move around in the pocket, get himself free. Can kind of threw that one up, and an incredible catch. Incredible one-handed grab by Traylon Jackson, but it went for naught.
Tight trips, bunch to the right. Can throwing downfield and just having to get rid of it, and a late flag.
That play design did not work out like they hoped. Looked like they were trying to get a deep out with the rollout, but there was so much pressure in the face of Can, he had to keep retreating and then just throw the ball out of bounds to avoid the sack.
The penalty is for an ineligible receiver downfield, so that will be declined by head coach George Hegeman, and it'll bring up a 4th down and a punting situation, but a chance for the Stallions to cause the Ascenders to have a long way to go to try and extend their lead. And the snap goes over the head, and he'll just have to fall on it. Unfortunate for Luke Jackson, so what could have potentially been an 80-yard field for the Ascenders turns into about 37.
Yeah, there was confusion for the Stallions from the start. They were missing a player. He tried to run on the field late. It looked like the punter just took his eye off the ball because he was trying to make sure that they were ready to go. Wasn't sure if there was going to be a penalty for the man running on the field late. Looked like he was running towards the line of scrimmage. That whole play was just an absolute mess, and it ends in disaster for the Stallions. setting IMG up with incredible field position to go down and just increase this lead.
Day Hooper will start at quarterback. The hand to Stacy Gage right up the middle, and he cannot get around Tony Pearson at 5'10", 350 pounds.
Pearson is a load in the middle of that Stallion defense, and he's done a good job tonight. That whole Stallion defense has done a good job tonight for the most part against the typically dominant IMG offensive run game.
Stacy Gage at 5'10", 190. So going up a guy the same height but 160 pounds stronger. Day Hooper now takes the snap on 2nd and 10, rolls, looking deep downfield, and a miscommunication, and it's intercepted. And Malachi Matthews just unsure, I think, of what the route was between him and Day Hooper, and Hooper will throw the easy interception, but 2 defenders. That could have actually gotten a sizable return for the Stallions, but they collide into each other and fall down, so it'll be a very long field. And you know right now the IMG defense is going to pin their ears back and try and get a safety.
They're absolutely going to pin their ears back. That was almost like a punt in terms of the result of it, where the Stallions are taking over. I will say that there was definitely a miscommunication between Day Hooper and Malachi Matthews. Matthews ran a comeback route. Hooper threw what would be a fade, and the Stallions are able to come up with the turnover. Still huge for them to get the possession back, but now they're in a dangerous position this deep in their own territory.
Now under center for the Stallions. And Collins Turner back in at quarterback with the little pitch to try to get out of the shadow of their own end zone. And Bradley just shoved out Terrell Foster on the coverage.
Bradley was able to get a short gain, trying to dig him out of that hole. Sets him up for second. It looks like 8.
Out wide to the left is Matthews Spencer. And again, trips bunched tight to the right side. Turner back under center. Takes the snap. The hand is up the middle, and Terrell Foster quickly there, and this will be for a loss. And Pinckney also in on the tackle. Terrell Foster with the drive backwards. And it looks like Peter Shanny might have been there as well. Or Charlie Goodell, excuse me, on that one.
So this is the dreaded 3rd and long from inside your own 5-yard line. A recipe for disaster potentially for the Stallions. They don't want to give up a safety. They certainly don't want to give up a turnover down here. If they want to get the first down, there's a good likelihood they have to throw it, and IMG knows that.
And their last attempted long snap ended up in a high snap that gave Senders the short field, but then set up the interception. So now Collins Turner has to get out of the end zone, looking deep downfield. Tracking it is Leo Martinez, and just over the head of Jalen Mitchell. Martinez wanted that one, and that's going to bring up 4th and long. And talk about psychologically, Josh, how after you have a long snap in the head of a long snapper, all he's going to be thinking now is don't do what you did on the last attempt. And now with the little shorter snap right to the back of the end zone, how does that kind of affect the player on a 4th and long?
Well, the long snapper knows that he's backed up here in his own territory. It also changes potentially the distance of the snap, how far back he has to snap it because of where they're lined up and where the back of the end zone is. He knows he made a mistake on the last possession. He's already feeling the pressure of being backed up in his own end zone anyway. So it takes a lot of mental fortitude to just focus on what you have to do and on your job, and not to kind of overcorrect for the mistake that you made before.
And the Ascenders looking like they're bringing pressure in a beautiful quick snap and boot. Taylor Evans is going to field this at the 45. He's got to track back to midfield. Cuts back upfield at the 40. Jumps over one and then finally shoved out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
Well, got to give the Stallions punter some credit. Number 13, Luke Jackson, that he was able to quick kick it. He didn't take a whole bunch of steps to get rid of that ball. He only took one step, and he got off a good punt, so he got it out of there, and they lived to fight another day.
And huge credit to kicker and punter Luke Jackson on that. A very heads-up play, especially with the Ascenders showing an all-out punt block attempt to either get the safety or a potential touchdown. But Day Hooper will stay in at quarterback. His toes on the 40-yard line of the Stallions with Stacy Gage on his right hip. The snap, the hand to Gage right up the middle of the 35-30. Bounces off one. He's got his feet to the 25-20. Breaks out to the 15, 10, 5. From 40 yards out, Stacy Gage, the Riverview Rocket, launches again. Touchdown Ascenders.
Stacy Gage absolutely broke the ankles of number 14, Nicholas Mackay, on that play. He got into the secondary and he juked, and honestly, it looks like McClee might be injured on the play, unfortunately, but Gage just showed his athleticism, his powerful running, and what a great cut that he made in the secondary to get himself free for those last 20 yards to run in and score that TD.
His yards after contact have got to be more than some running backs have just total yards this season. Stacy Gage, we mentioned a few weeks ago in a game, had 298 yards and 5 touchdowns in the first half alone. And another downfield of Dream Stallion will get the identity of the player for those of you that may be watching from around the country as soon as we have it. But with 7:07 remaining in the third quarter, the Ascenders take a 31-3 lead.
Yeah, you talked about Gage's yards after contact. He consistently breaks 1, 2, sometimes 3 tackles on plays to gain extra yards, and you cannot get him with just one tackler unless you get him before he gets started. They have to get him in the backfield before he gets going. Once he gets to that second level, never does one man bring Stacy Gage down.
31-3 in favor of IMG Academy. So after Day Hooper hung up that interception, it actually almost set them up perfectly for the next drive. A nice punt by Luke Jackson. But as we just saw, Stacy Gage from anywhere on the field, always a threat. And don't forget to tune in. We've got some more football for you next week, Friday night, right here at IMG Academy Stadium. It will be probably the biggest game in the country, as going into last night's game, Miami Northwestern was ranked number 9 in the country. They were beating another top team in the state of Florida in Miami Central and perennial rival, and also with St. Thomas Aquinas, who was ranked number 3 in the country, taking a loss to Cardinal Gibbons. That will almost certainly shoot Miami Northwestern up into the top 5. The last time IMG played a top 10 team in the nation just a few weeks ago at the location where the World Series currently is at Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas, and saw the Ascenders national team win 41-14 over the state of Texas. IMG has never lost in the state of Texas, and just an absolutely dominating performance and showing why they were and still are the number 1 team in the country. That team will be in action next Friday night, the day before Halloween, right here at 7 o'clock. Myself and Josh will be back on that call.
That game was billed as the game of the year with IMG and Duncanville. I think that this Miami Northwestern game that's coming up is the new game of the year. And in fact, Miami Northwestern has momentum coming into this game with the big win that they had against Miami Central. They're coming in here with something to prove, and IMG and Miami have a history. They've played each other before, so they're not going to be scared of IMG, and they know what to expect, and I think that potentially is going to be the legit game of the year in high school football. You definitely want to tune in for that.
IMG does have a history with Miami Northwestern. Past few years, they've played them multiple times, going back last year, winning 24-7. That game was in Miami. And then I believe they also played again 2 years ago But Northwestern going on to play in the state finals and semifinals. 34-7 2 years ago. That game was here at home. So Miami Northwestern has yet to upset the Ascenders. And then I believe in the 2017-2018 season, also 21-0 in favor of the Ascenders. So you know the Miami Northwestern coaching staff has revenge on the mind.
You know, a lot of teams, I think, are hesitant to schedule IMG because of how talented this team is, and they're probably going to get beat up. They're probably going to take a loss. But the teams that do it, that are at the top, that want to compete for state championships, it's a great test. And really, it's a win-win situation because if you compete with IMG, if you take the challenge on, you're going to be better prepared when you go into those playoff games against some of those top-flight opponents that you're going to see. And so the coaches that want their team to ascend to that kind of level, I encourage you to take on the challenge. Call IMG and try to schedule them and see where you stand because you're going to be better for it.
And also not just getting better as a team, but also the exposure you get from playing against a team like IMG Academy where if you had a student that maybe wasn't getting looked at, you know, a scout's sitting here watching some of the top talent in the country for the Ascenders, and then, you know, a big tackle happens against one of the IMG playmakers, and that kid could go and get a D2 or a D1 offer just because of one play they make here in Bradenton. And the boot goes into the end zone and out for a touchback. So 31-3, 7:07 remaining in the third quarter. And we mentioned the Ascenders Post-Grad first team, their inaugural game ended up being a 28-27 loss to North Palm Beach Prep, a team that Field of Dreams Sports Academy will be taking on in a couple of weeks as well. But you know they definitely wanted to get a win under their belt. And it is the quarterback, Collins Turner. Two receivers each side. The hand up the middle. Bryce Alexander, who's got a nice first step out of the backfield and is close to a first down, doesn't quite get it. Brings up second and short for the Stallions.
Stallions' offensive line was finally able to open up a running lane. Alexander pierced through that into the secondary and sets him up with a 2nd and 2.
Now Turner back in shotgun. We saw him under center when they were back in the shadow of their own end zone. Two receivers left, two to the right. The hand goes to Alexander again, running left side. He's got some room up to the 40-yard line, and a flag coming from the pack judge.
We're definitely going to get a late hit out of bounds on IMG. I'm not sure what the other penalty is, but I saw a late hit out of bounds on IMG and a flag thrown. Might have a hold there on the edge, though, so might it be offsetting.
Credit to the official launching that. He was standing with his heels at midfield and threw his flag all the way to the 30, something that we're not accustomed to seeing. And it looks like it was, in fact, a penalty against Field of Dreams Sports Academy. So after the positive play that would have been the first down and then some, it looks like it might have been a hold downfield that helped spring Bryce Alexander for a few extra yards. So that'll bring up what would have been 1st and 10 from about the 40. Now turns into 2nd and 2 from the 28. So a mistake just kind of shooting themselves in the foot for Field of Dreams.
We see a lot of that from opponents coming in. Not only are they playing against the IMG Ascenders, it seems a lot of times they're playing against themselves.
They'll actually have it at 2nd and 6. Collins Turner, play action, looking, throws across the middle, and it's intercepted by Pizzacolo. And he is tripped up and brought down to the 30, but Pizzacolo with the interception, and he is fired up.
Zaccola was in great position. He was in a deep half safety position. He was working his way out to that receiver who was streaking down the middle of the field. Receiver was open, but overshot by Collins Turner by several yards, and DeColo was Johnny on the spot to catch that one and return it all the way to the 30-yard line. You can see that he's pumped up. His teammates are pumped up about that. They love to see that for him.
And Collins Turner just had Trey Jackson and just over the outstretched hand of Trey Jackson and into the numbers of Pete Zuccolo.
We've seen Trey Jackson go up and make an incredible one-handed catch already today. Thought maybe he was going to be able to do it again, but just too tall for him. He could not climb the ladder to that one.
Day Hooper has Dorian Paris on his right side. Play action. Hooper's going to keep it himself. He runs to his right. Up just past the 30. He puts it down on the ground, and it is recovered.
The ball shot out, and it was picked up by number 55, J.C. Latham.
And if you go to Coach George Hegeman's Twitter, he posted the question, what does your offensive line coach yell at you the most? And wide receiver coach Des Tardy responded with JC. And right there you saw JC Latham. Offensive linemen don't get to touch the ball often, and what they do, it's usually puts a smile on any coach's face. Day Hooper now, the hand to Xavier Terrell. Stopped in the backfield, and he is stood up.
JC had great hands on that previous play, though. He looked like maybe he's played a little bit of basketball because he was comfortable. He picked that thing right up. He wasn't scared. He tried to tuck it under his arm and advance it. Great defense, though, on the last couple of plays by the Stallions. Again, they're not folding, even though they're down 31-3. The defense is still playing very hard. They penetrated, and there were no running lanes for Terrell on that snap.
Day Hooper on 3rd and 12. Takes the snap, has time. Running to his left, looking for an open man downfield, and then just goes to the bailout to Xavier Terrell, who's got space. He jukes 3 defenders, still on his feet. Escapes the jersey tackle, somehow still on his feet. One of the most exciting plays for just about a gain of 2. But Xavier Terrell absolutely making that secondary for Field of Dreams look silly, and you see why he set some IMG rushing records last year. Wow.
Terrell was dancing, bouncing, ripping through tacklers. They were trying to rip his shirt off. Like you said, Ryan, all that work for very little gain in terms of moving the ball down the field, but he ran so many yards laterally and broke through all those tackles. It just continued to show what a dangerous ball carrier he is. He could take it to the end zone on any snap.
So it is a personal foul against the Ascenders. It is declined to bring up the 4th and 11. And it looks like they're going to attempt the field goal here. We already saw Gavin Marshall good from 47. This looks like they'll set up for a 49-yard attempt.
That 47-yard field goal that he made would have definitely been good from 50-plus. So he certainly has the leg. We'll just see if he gets this lined up and what kind of pressure the Stallions are able to bring.
And the wind slightly whipping into his face. The snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up. And the kick is good from 49 yards. Gavin Marshall gets his 2nd of the day. And you see the sideline just jumping as that one just crawled over the crossbar. Maybe could have been about 3 or 4 yards back, but Gavin Marshall puts the Ascenders up 34-3.
Great kick by Gavin Marshall. He kept his head down, full follow through, beautiful arcing kick that made his way up over those uprights. And it's just such a luxury. We talk about the depth that IMG has every week, but it's such a luxury to have kickers on all their squads that can put the ball through the uprights and are so consistent.
Well, what killed the Post-Grad team, their last game against North Palm Beach Prep, they were playing against a team that didn't have a kicker, so every time they got into the end zone, they had to go for a 2-point conversion. The Ascenders had a 7-point lead leading up to the last drive, so they were up 27-26 after the last touchdown, but they couldn't stop the 2-point conversion, and that is how the Post-Grad team had their first loss in their first game ever here at IMG Academy. But there you see The Ascenders with the opportunity from 49 yards out, usually something that a lot of high school kickers aren't able to do. Only the best in the country can do it. And Gavin Marshall there with a little exclamation point on the drive that stalled out.
I expect Marshall to kick this ball through the end zone. He's fired up about that big field goal he just made. Got a little juice in that leg.
And this one kind of a bullet that will bounce, and it is fielded. And it's Trey Jackson again. And he bounces out to the left side and has some space, trying to stay in bounds. And tracking, it's going to be a return. Trey Jackson gets into the end zone for the first time, and it's on special teams. And there is no flags, and Gavin Marshall was trying to force him out of bounds, and again, that bullet looked like it was going to bounce into the end zone, and Trey Jackson, you just see the danger that he provides on the field, and he gets the first touchdown for Field of Dreams Sports Academy.
Trey Jackson took that ball, and he started off slow. He set that up before he bounced it to the outside. He was literally jogging in the middle of the field, and then he turned on the jets. He bounced it to the outside. He broke a tackle. And probably the most impressive thing was he walked the tightrope right along the sidelines. He was able to keep his feet in bounds and then eventually really gain his balance and cut back across the field inside, and he showed the speed that he has to run away from the entire IMG coverage unit. Trey Jackson has shown us flashes of brilliance.
And we talk about sometimes how on kicks and punts, when the ball does actually hit the ground, it sometimes causes those gunners to come out of their lanes and lose their particular special teams coverage. And the point after is good, so 34-10. And a sign of life, not necessarily from the Field of Dreams offense, but the special teams unit. And now we'll get to see the Ascender offense back on the field after only getting 3 that last drive.
Well, one of the things you mentioned, Ryan, was how great the exposure is when you come in here to play IMG. And for Trey Jackson, the couple of plays that he's made today, he's showing the kind of talent that he has to any scouts that may be watching. Very, very talented athlete for Field of Dreams.
Thanks again for spending your Saturday afternoon with us here. If you're watching in the Facebook Live chat, you can feel free to shout out any of your kids playing. If you have any questions for myself or Josh about IMG Academy or the players you're seeing on the field, go ahead. We'll try to address them here in the final 15 minutes or so of this contest. The Senders right now with a 34-10 lead after the 96-yard Trey Jackson kickoff return. And now the Ascender offense and the special teams returning unit going to look to try to make something happen. Taylor Evans fields this at the 1-yard line. He cuts to his right, puts a shoulder down, and gets across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
Well, the Stallions had momentum coming off that big kickoff return, something exciting for them to try to build on. Their defensive line has been stout most of the day, so we'll see if they're able to take some of that juice, some of that energy from what they just did and force a turnover or force a stop.
And it will be Anthony Arnaud back on for the Ascender offense. We saw Day Hooper the last couple of drives. And Xavier Terrell in the backfield. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right for IMG Academy. Arnaud takes the snap, has time, looking downfield. Nice little fade route to Taylor Evans, who catches it just on the fingertips, falls out of bounds. But a beautiful completion for just a little over 20 yards. It'll bring them up to the 44-yard line. First down, Ascenders.
A little bit of what we call a smash concept. We had a wide receiver, Weston Adams, sat down in the flat while the corner route was being run by Taylor Evans. And Arnaud was waiting for that corner route to come open. He threw a nice ball, and Evans went up and made a beautiful catch right on the sideline.
Arnaud with that little nice touch pass still in shotgun. Takes the snap, drops. They're going to look to the air again. He's going to keep it himself, runs up past the line of scrimmage, and a late flag comes in. And Anthony Arnaud brought down out of bounds by Aaron Thomas.
Got a flag on the field. There may be a hold. I think that hold is going to be on number 55, our man J.C. Latham. J.C.
I'm sure when they're yelling at him in film, that will not be something that he'll want to address.
JC's had a good game, though, tonight, and he did save a possession the last time IMG had the ball when he recovered that fumble.
So 1st and 22 for IMG Academy. We've already seen Anthony Arnaud with a nice 24-yard pass. See what they have here on 1st and 22. Looking for that little route. Weston Adams is interfered with and still makes the catch. What a catch by Weston Adams, and a wise trip up by the defender, because had Weston Adams been able to keep his feet, that would have been a touchdown.
Number 5, Kendrick Can, fell at the feet of Adams and tripped him up, and Adams was able to take those last couple of strides and gather himself just enough to get his hands on that football and reel it in. A beautiful touch pass by Arnaud on the fade ball.
1st and 10 from the 41. They're going to go back to the air again, and this one just hangs Weston Adams out to dry a little too high and incomplete. They'll bring up 2nd down.
Seems like the Senders have come out and really been aggressive at going to the air on this particular drive, sensing maybe that the Stallions had a little bit of momentum after that big kickoff return and just wanting to continue to put pressure on them offensively.
Last time we saw the Ascenders from 40 yards out, it was a Stacy Gage 40-yard touchdown. Arnaud at quarterback. Finds Taylor Evans again, who loses his feet, but regains them and still on his feet after making 2 defenders bounce off.
Took 4 tacklers to bring Evans down on that play, and that was a really well-thrown football on the outbreaking route by Arnaud. He threw that before Evans even came out of the break, so the timing was beautiful and put it right where Evans could run to it and turn up field and try to make something out of it. So well-thrown ball, and Arnaud is executing at a high level on this drive.
A little California connection from Santa Monica to Simi Valley for Taylor Evans. And Anthony Arnaud from Santa Monica now takes the snap, the hand. Looks like it's to Xavier Terrell, but Arnaud's going to keep it himself. He runs up past the 30, keeps his feet, gets the 1st down to the 25-yard line.
Arnaud shows enough mobility there to force the Stallions to have to respect him in that read option game. He was able to bounce that to the outside and get enough to get the 1st down, setting IMG up now for a 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line heading in.
And the hand to Xavier Terrell right up the middle of the 20. Shakes a tackler and can't get the 2nd one, and still very tough to bring down. Big gain for Xavier Terrell and some extracurriculars.
That was a good tackle by number 5, Kendrick Can, coming up from his safety position in the secondary. It is hard to wrap Xavier Terrell up, so to get that solid of a hit on him, that distance down the field is no easy task.
Now just fixing Xavier Terrell's helmet is Stacy Gage. And on 2nd and 3, Arnaud looking across the middle has Malachi Matthews, and it looks like it may be intercepted. And it is, but it's at the 1-yard line. And one of those dual-possessed balls, a nice throw by Anthony Arnaud. Malachi Matthews just can't fight for it, and that's going to get Malachi Matthews possibly ejected after throwing a hand. And that is definitely going to be assessed. And
there's a lot to talk about right now. First of all, that was a great play by what it looked like number 23, Trenton Jackson, at defensive back. He came underneath. The ball was thrown a little late. He came underneath and intercepted it. Then it was a battle between him and Malachi Matthews for the ball. Matthews was trying to wrestle the ball away from him, and for a second it looked like he might have had it. Another thing is, it's unfortunate the second time that the Stallions have got an interception or a turnover where they've got that inside their own 5-yard line, setting themselves up for really tough sledding for their offense. But then we got all the fisticuffs after the fact, and like you said, Ryan, potentially Malachi Matthews might get himself thrown out of this contest. And additionally, if it's not some type of offsetting penalty, it's going to dig the Stallions out of that hole and move the ball at least past the 20-yard line for them on a personal foul penalty. So a lot is going on right now, and the officials are discussing it. They're huddled up right now trying to figure out exactly what to do, how to assess these penalties, and where to move the ball.
So we'll see what penalties are in fact assessed, but the Ascender defense on the field. And we'll see what the official says. Personal foul against IMG. We expected that. Also a personal foul against Field of Dreams, and then another personal foul
against
IMG.
So they doubled up on IMG and one personal foul, and then it ends up that they assess the personal foul against the second personal foul against IMG. So a lot happening here, but it doesn't look like I was waiting to see here. We've got another in-house announcer. I was trying to see if anything had been officially called against Malachi Matthews and if he is going to be able to continue in this contest, because he did throw a punch.
It was with an open hand to slap the side of a helmet. We did not see the hand signal from the official that he was ejected. So we'll see if cooler heads prevail here. 7 seconds left in the third quarter, and we'll go on to the fourth.
Can is back in at quarterback.
DeKoven Can. Pocket closing, and this one tipped. 3 Ascenders with a chance to intercept that one as it bounced back and almost traded turnover for turnover. It'll be 2nd and 10 with 2.4 remaining in the third.
Well, there was confusion there in the routes being run by Trey Jackson and number 9, Brian Stemke. They were standing shoulder to shoulder, basically holding hands. I know that was not the route design, so that caused some problems as Ken was trying to gun it in there between those two guys. They didn't know who it was to.
Can making an adjustment from shotgun. Talking to Andrew Wilson, providing some blocking power. Can going to roll to his left. In pursuit. Terrell Foster finally shoves him out of bounds. That'll be the last play. But also Christian Agwu. And there is no flags, and that is how the third quarter will end. And we will go to the fourth with the Ascenders leading by 24. It's 34-10 over Field of Dreams Sports Academy. This is IMG Academy football on IMG Academy TV. Welcome back. IMG Academy Stadium, fourth quarter action getting ready to start. 3rd and 3 for Field of Dreams Sports Academy. DeKoven Can, the quarterback, Ryan Sudol, and Josh Phillips, your broadcasters for these final 12 minutes. And quickly into the backfield was Liam McCormick, who missed on his tackle, but he had some great coverage. And that'll force 4th down for the Stallions.
McCormick really is the one who set that play up with his penetration into the backfield and the contact that he made. He wasn't able to finish the play off, but it gave the rest of his defensive mates the time to rally and pursue and force a loss on that 3rd down carry.
Another doubleheader of football next weekend, starting Friday, October 30th at 7 p.m. The national team, the #1 team in the country, will be taking on Miami Northwestern. We talked a little bit about that game just after half. Again, that will be the game of the week in the United States for high school football. And then same time, same channel, next Saturday, October 31st, the Post-Grad team will be back in action, looking to get their 2nd win at home, as this one looks to be just about over, 34-10. And a timeout will be taken on 4th and long by Field of Dreams Sports Academy. And then the following Saturday, November 7th, and Saturday, November 14th, all at 1 o'clock for the Post-Grad team.
With the score 34-10, the game is pretty much out of reach, but this down, and the reason that the Field of Dreams Academy is calling this timeout is because it's pivotal. At this point in the game, they may go for it here on this 4th and 7 or 8 yards. Going for it would give them an opportunity to try to continue to drive, to be competitive, to actually score, to be in the game. If they punted it back to IMG here, chances are that they're just trying to keep the score down. So from a competitor standpoint, the coaches are calling their team over the sideline. They're thinking about what to do. It looks like the Field of Dreams offense has come back on the field, and they are going to go for it. They're gambling here this deep in their own territory to try to go for it. We'll see what kind of play they try to come up with to get this yardage.
Possibly just a hard count, maybe to get 5 free yards before going for it on 4th and 7. 2 receivers to each side of DeKoven Can. He takes the snap, rolls, pressure coming, and he just heaves and prays. Taylor Evans in pursuit, and it'll be incomplete. Intended for either Makai Jones or number 20, Latrez Bradley. And Taylor Evans with great coverage. We've seen him with hands on special teams and offense, and they are showing some strong coverage on defense as well.
That was a heave and a prayer from Can. He threw it deep. There were 2 of his guys down there, but there were also 2 defenders. The ball bounced around a little bit. There was a chance that somebody could have grabbed it off the ricochet, but it falls harmlessly, and now the Ascender offense comes back out on the field in great position at the 20 going in with the opportunity to really put this game away.
We'll say thanks to our sponsors, Gatorade, Under Armour, and Zenith. Gatorade keeping our players well hydrated, Under Armour keeping them well dressed, and Zenith keeping them well protected. So 1st and 10 for the Ascenders, 11 minutes to go. The hand running right side is Dorian Paris. And that'll bring up 2nd and 6. Pearson credited with the tackle for Field of Dreams. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line. Anthony Arnaud wanting to get back that interception that he threw on the last drive. And the hand up the middle. This one, touchdown. And number 21 for IMG Academy. Do not have him on the roster that we have here.
That was a straight shot downhill. He took that handoff, and the IMG offensive line opened that hole up wide. He had no cut to make to run into the end zone, virtually untouched all the way to pay dirt, and a great opportunity for 21 to get on the field, get his hands on the ball. He gets in the end zone. That's got to be exciting for him.
And the point after by Gavin Marshall, just like everything else he has done today, is good. So the Ascenders go up 41-10 with 10:28 remaining. Gavin Marshall with his 2 field goals of 47 and 49 yards and a handful of extra points as well. And the Ascenders continue to cruise on offense.
The Stallion kickoff return team is coming back on the field. The last time we saw them, they returned it all the way. Trey Jackson returned it all the way for the touchdown and showed his dangerous ball carrying skills, his elite speed. IMG would probably be trying to either kick the ball out of the end zone or kick it away from Trey Jackson. They do not want to give him an opportunity to get his hands on the ball and do something electric.
So 41-10, Gavin Marshall on for the kickoff. Possibly the last one we will see from him tonight. 10:28 remaining in the game. That was Chris Lynn with the touchdown. And this one into the end zone. They're going to allow him to bring it out. And we've already seen what Trey Jackson is able to do, and this time he is shoved out of bounds before he can return it for 96 yards and a touchdown. Definitely the offensive player of the game for Field of Dreams.
No question. And Trey Jackson had another big return there. Now there's a couple flags on the field, and that might be the reason why. But he's just got a great combination of skills. We've seen him with an incredible one-handed catch. We've seen his speed, his balance. We've seen him set up his blocks. He's a patient runner as well. But it does look like we're going to get some type of a hold or a clip on Field of Dreams, which is going to send them backwards.
So it'll be 1st and 10 with another long field for the Stallions. They'll spot this ball, looks like at the 15-yard line. And Collins Turner back in at quarterback. Trips bunched up to the left. Takes the snap. And they just run a quick screen, and this one will fall just short of Joey Chapman and incomplete.
Collins Chapman tried to toss it out there before I really think he had much of a grip on the ball. He was trying to get it out before John Copley got there. Copley was bringing pressure off the edge. That ball may have even been tipped as it came out of Turner's hand.
They break the huddle now, go 2 receivers spread out to each side for Collins Turner. Takes the snap, and the hand is stuffed in the backfield.
Hayden Pickney came through right as the ball was snapped. He was there meeting. He almost took the handoff from the quarterback. He was right there. He was able to wrestle that ball carrier down for another loss of yardage for the Stallions.
And for Hayden Pinkney, that one was very similar to a play we saw in a bowl game in Tampa where Jadavian Clowney just absolutely decapitated a Michigan Wolverine. Pinkney maybe not with the force that Clowney did it in that game, but definitely with the speed into the backfield. Turner takes the snap, quickly rolls to his left. Design now heaving one downfield, and almost the one-handed snag by Joey Chapman. Looked like he may have been just a little off balance. I'm not sure if that was intended for him or Mekhi Jones, but Chapman almost making a great play to keep that drive alive, but on 4th and long,
no need for Chapman to try to make that a one-handed catch. The ball was coming down in a spot where, you know, as a wide receivers coach, you would tell Chapman, go up with 2, catch it with 2. Tried to make the spectacular play not necessary on that one, and he wasn't able to bring it in.
And again, with 9:20 to go and down 31 points, they are going to go for it. And again, we mentioned the international reach of IMG Academy as well. Last touchdown scorer, Christopher Lim, a junior, actually from Singapore. Now Collins Turner looking for the deep ball, and just outside of the reach of Mo McFarland. It'll still be a turnover on downs, but Maurice McFarland wishing he could have got a hand on it, although they're probably in better field position than had he caught that.
McFarland's had great coverage all night. We haven't said his name much just because he's had his guys on lockdown. They really haven't had any success throwing the football towards Mo McFarland, and he had great coverage again on that play. He was deeper on the top shoulder of the wide receiver where he should be, and when that post ball was thrown, he was in a better position to catch it than the wide receiver.
So 1st and 10, Day Hooper and Dorian Paris in the backfield. Julian Taylor and Weston Adams to the near side. Looks like that is Malachi Matthews back on that far left side. Hooper rolls to his right, little shoulder fake, and now trying to evade. And just throws one up, and it is incomplete. It was initially caught by Davis Hawkins, didn't have full possession. Goes down to the turf, and it'll be an incomplete pass. 2nd and goal from the 10.
Hooper rolled out, was trying to avoid getting run down from behind by Sean Perez, who was bringing pressure. He threw the ball to Davis Hawkins, and it was caught momentarily but jarred out almost immediately by a Stallion defender, and it ended up falling incomplete. Don't know what the flags are about. Potentially some type of holding in the Stallion secondary.
And Sean Perez has been a force on defense for Field of Dreams and the Stallions.
Sean Perez at 6'3", 225 has been bringing pressure off the edge for the Stallion defense all night. He's shown a myriad of moves, spin move. He's chopped the arm down. He's brought the speed rush. He's a strong defender. He's done well tonight.
And now just trying to, again, we still don't know what the penalty is, and it looks like it will go offsetting. There were 2 penalties on the play, so it'll stay 1st down. I don't know why he would have, or it looks like there was an ineligible man downfield, and then it looks like the Ascenders declined an extra penalty. So there were offsetting penalties, but then another penalty on Field of Dreams that result in a 1st down.
We've had a couple of situations where there's been multiple flags thrown, and we're trying to figure out what is actually going on here.
So 1st and goal from the 5. Day Hooper and Dorian Paris. Hooper takes the low snap and quickly into the backfield, but Hooper is going to keep it himself into the end zone. Touchdown! But what a burst by Kendrick Can. Absolutely just darted into the backfield, but Hooper able to keep that play alive and find the end zone for 6.
Can came in off the edge and brought pressure right away, and I think he adjusted his path based upon that low ball snap, and Hooper was able to reel it in and then bounce it to the outside, and there was nobody there because Can had just come from that spot. He was that edge defender on that side, so no containment. Hooper was able to bounce it outside and walk into the end zone untouched.
And there are penalty flags. Illegal substitution against Field of Dreams Sports Academy. And with the now 37-point lead, pending 38, the FHSAA mandated running clock has been instituted, so 8 minutes and counting. And it is the two Gavins as your kicking battery. Gundiker the holder, Marshall the kicker, as he has been perfect today. Snap back, hold down, the kick is up. And Gavin Marshall will remain perfect and make it 48-10, 7:30 and counting remaining. The Ascenders lead the Stallions. And again, after the Stallions put a very tough first half up, we also got a big 96-yard touchdown return from Trey Jackson after the Ascenders had a big 40-yard touchdown run by Stacy Gage. Again, the game, I feel, is a lot closer than the scoreboard reflects. Field of Dreams has came out here. They've tried to ball out. They just haven't really been able to get anything going on offense. And when it looked like the special teams might have set them up for another positive drive, just turnovers have absolutely destroyed them today.
Turnovers and an inability to block the IMG pass rush, which has wreaked havoc on them, and just lack of consistency. They've made some plays. Like you said, it's not like they've been absolutely run off the field, and in fact, the Stallion defense has been pretty stout against an IMG run game that is typically dominant. So have to tip your cap to them. They've come in, they've played hard, they've played well, but not enough plays, not enough consistency, and too many mistakes.
But still, definitely, again, we've seen some teams that put IMG Academy on the schedule knowing that they're going to take a loss just to kind of see where they need to improve. And I think Field of Dreams can still, even with the 38-point deficit right now, hold their heads high, knowing they came toe-to-toe with some of the best athletes in the country. And, again, got a touchdown on them. We've also had some strong stops. We've seen some good turnovers as well. Interception from Anthony Arnaud, and I believe one from Day Hooper early on in the game. Just unable to capitalize. They have not had a whole lot of offense generated in the IMG half of the field. But with 5:30 to go, this probably the last drive we will see from Field of Dreams, and maybe one or two more plays from IMG Academy. And it will be DeCoven Can. 1st and 10, a little over 5 minutes remaining. Also in the backfield, Andrew Wilson. Can with two receivers to each side. Pressure coming. Pocket closing, and he is able to find Wilson on just that little bailout screen, and Terrell Foster puts his shoulder into him. But not until he gets the first down and a few yards more. 1st and 10.
Good start to the drive for the Stallions. Can was able to buy himself a little time and then dump it out on the swing route to number 25, Andrew Wilson, who advanced it, got a first down.
Four minutes and 19 seconds in counting. And the snap has trouble getting to Can, and he's able to pick it up and just fire. Great play by him to get to Matthew Spencer. And Can just absolutely picked that bad snap up off the ground and whipped it. Didn't even really look, and turns into another first down for the Stallions.
Can threw that ball with almost all arm. His legs were not even involved in that throw. He was able to pick it up and just whip it out to number 12, Matthew Spencer.
Now trips left for Can, and another high snap and another good recovery, but it's in and out of the hands of Andrew Wilson. Little alligator arms may have cost him on that catch and that snap. So we had the one that just went into the grass, and then that one going almost straight up. And it looks like it may be, it's a roughing the passer against the Ascenders. So even though it went down as an incomplete pass, it'll be a 15-yard gain.
Some problems with the snaps on the last couple of plays. Low and then high. Kind of an overcompensation for the low snap. And it's so tempting for a defender when you see a high snap and you're coming off the edge. You think, oh, man, I have an opportunity to get a sack here. You want to lay into the quarterback, and he's able to get it off before you get there, and sometimes it's hard to lay off that hit.
DeCoven can. Again, 2 receivers each side. Takes the snap. Back at his 40, looking for that deep corner route into the end zone. Leo Martinez wanting to get a pick again. You see him just kind of a natural ball hawk, and just over the head of him, and that was intended for Chapman, incomplete.
Martinez and number 9, Taylor Evans, who's playing both ways a lot this afternoon. Evans has shown us all sorts of things. He's returning kickoffs and punts. He's now out at corner, but we've also seen him play safety today. They were both in coverage there. Martinez had a great angle over the top on that corner route.
Under 2 minutes remaining. Final plays for Field of Dreams Sports Academy. The Stallions looking to get one more touchdown here in the final 100 seconds or so. Now Can across the middle, and this one for Trey Jackson a little too strong and just outside the outstretched fingertips of Trey Jackson, the lone touchdown scorer for the Stallions today.
Jackson was able to get inside position on that slant route. Can tried to jam it in there, just a little too high.
Now Can looking, has a man. It is number 17, Joey Chapman, and the ball is down on the ground, and the Ascenders have recovered it.
Mo McFarland and Juan Zabal Alonso converged on Chapman on that play and were able to force the fumble.
And we may see one play from IMG Academy as they swap possessions here. Depends when they start the play clock, because right now it is 30 seconds remaining on the game clock. And it looks like that may not even happen. Again, after what looked like a slow start, Josh, we talked about the stalemate early on between the Ascenders and the Stallions, where they were just trading possessions and punts right across midfield. But with 3 seconds remaining, we will not see another IMG snap. That is your final score. IMG Academy 48, Field of Dreams Sports Academy 10. The Ascenders and the Post-Grad team with their first win of the season at home. They are 1-1 here at IMG Academy Stadium. And you see with the COVID salute, avoiding the handshakes, they will just raise their helmets. And they're trying to dump the ice bucket on head coach George Hegeman, getting his first win as the Post-Grad head coach. And for a guy that has a Super Bowl ring with the Dallas Cowboys, it's got to feel good to get that first win under his belt as a head coach for these Post-Grad kids.
You can tell these guys, a lot of them came from all over the country, some all over the world, to come here to IMG to play. It's exciting for them to get that first win of the season, and really the first win in postgraduate IMG history, which is awesome. And they played well. There's definitely some things that they can look on the film and say, hey, we can improve, but they're going to enjoy this later today. The story of the game was the dominance of the IMG up front 7 on defense, and just too many mistakes, too many turnovers for the Stallions. A couple of bright spots, especially for number 22, Trey Jackson. He had a heck of a game, but IMG Post-Grad has something to build on, and these guys are going to continue to get better as this season rolls along.
And we've only got a few more broadcasts here at home, the biggest coming next Friday night as IMG Academy welcomes Miami Northwestern back to Bradenton. Again, they have won their last 3 contests against Miami Northwestern, but this will be the first time that the Bulls are in the top 10 in the country, so all eyes on the nation will be on that game. And then next Saturday, Halloween, we'll have some Post-Grad football action at 1 o'clock, and also on November 7th and November 14th, those Saturdays also here at 1 o'clock. For everyone here at IMG Academy, my name is Ryan Sudol, and for my broadcast partner, Josh Phillips, thank you for tuning in to IMG Academy TV. So long from the Suncoast.